welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. Just let me know if you guys can hear me. I just got some new stuff, toys and gadgets. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat, please. Uh, JLC, hi. How are you? Welcome to Politics and Wellness. Patty Duke, it is always great to see you. Welcome, Patty. Say your name. Please let me know if you guys can hear me because I'm not sure. I've been playing around with this for a day. Haven't quite figured it out, but we're working on it, getting it together. So please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, great. Brother Nate, I sent you the link like yesterday, so I don't know if you saw it, but it's there. All right, but welcome. It's kind of low. Okay, let's see. I don't know what's going on. Let's see what we can do. How about now? Is it still low? Am I still kind of low? How about now? Is it still low? How about now? Is it still low? Am I still really low? How about now? Now I feel like some kind of like step into the room, Carol Ann. Yeah, this feels really weird. But yeah, okay. So Brother Nate, let me know. Okay, it's okay now. Okay, great. Let me know if you need the link, Brother Nate. I can send the link, but it's just some little bit of, I guess, expand my use of gadgets and things. So I figured I'd try some stuff out. So but let's get started. Brother Nate. I'll wait on you. But until then, hey. I hope everybody's had a great start to their week. Once again, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness, where we talk about, of course, politics and other stuff. So let's get into some things. Good evening, Adore. It's nice to see you. Let's see. We have a lot to talk about. So much to talk about. So little time. But I was playing around with some stuff, so I'll let you guys hear what I've been playing around with. And excuse my red eyes, because I've been working all day. So I was tired, but it is quite all right. But I wanted to. I dropped the link. Okay. Hey, Linty, how are you? Welcome into the room. Nice to see you, as always. Glad you made it. Oh, did you have a birthday yesterday? I'm sorry. Everybody give it up for JLC87. She had a birthday on yesterday, so let's please just wish her a happy birthday. And from all of us here at CCNTV and Cap Hill and, all that good stuff, happy birthday and many, many more. Hopefully you didn't party too hard. So, all right, there you go. Hey, how you doing there, sir? You see you, let me know when you're ready. I don't want to just pop you up and you got to get yourself together. I want to do it to you. All right. Hey, what's going on, Triple L? How are you? Nice to see you. Okay, you ready? All right, great.
I was like, what is he waiting on? I was like, oh, got to give the thumb.
Oh, yeah, no, you didn't give me the thumbs up.
Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing? No, I did not receive the link, and I looked in there. It wasn't there.
I sent it like 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yes, I know. Look at that.
That's why I didn't get it.
I deleted it. Like, too many junk mails.
What is this, spam?
It's quite all right. Yes, I've been playing around. With this toy, so hopefully you guys can hear it because it'd be like crazy. Did you hear the claps?
Yeah, I heard the claps.
Okay, so then this is what I've been playing because I just got it like the other day. So I'm a big kid when it comes to gadgets and things.
Oh, now you know you should have tested that shit out.
I did. Well, I did a little bit.
Did you?
You are now watching Captivating Christian and Brother Nate on politics and wellness with a little bit of mess.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go.
I said, oh, Lord.
Right. uh, nah,
What? All right.
I
Now I heard somebody's birthday in the background.
huh?
Whose birthday? What? Oh, JLC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JLC.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday,
Right, right, right,
Queen.
right. Yes, happy birthday
Salutations
and many,
to
many
everyone.
more. Yeah, to
Woo.
everyone actually. Yeah, all the birthdays. Shout out to you all. Yeah, I was playing around with that, so I just felt like, oh, that'll be fun. I've read the directions and I was like, oh, let's try it. So I played around with it a little bit, and I was just like, oh, I gotta show them this. But of course, you didn't, you didn't hit the link as they said. So
Because it
uh,
wasn't there.
yeah.
Don't dock my pay.
Right, right. Whatever. I think I gotta go back to my mic because this mic I can't. It
Was it
sounds
a
really
different mic
weak.
and all
But
too?
we gonna work with it today because it is what it is. So I couldn't test it on nobody. I had to test it on myself, like kind of play with it with myself. And I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know how it sounds. But now that I know how it sounds for real, I don't know. I think I'm gonna use it. I think I'll go back. But anyway, like I said, we have so much stuff to get into. So without further ado, not past the Nate. It is not past the Nate. Past the
Oh
Nate
no, I'm
is
not.
out of
No, I'm not the good one.
here. Oh Lord.
uh,
All right.
oh no, I do
Oh,
foul things.
anyways.
Mm.
Uh, So let's get into some news updates. Of course, as you all know, the first African American woman is prompt to sit on the Supreme Court as the first justice, uh, black woman justice ever in all of its history. And I don't think any less of Republicans or their
I
quote
do.
unquote job.
I
But I really think it's funny how, especially, I get the regular Republicans outside of the judicial committees saying weird stuff and being out there, but those who are in charge of the judicial branch, which is all of the judges, all of that goes through them. Uh, that's where I have the problem when they say stupid stuff or when they just talking out the side of their faces to get airtime or to have speaking points that they can go back on Fox News and say, "You heard what I said to her." It's ridiculous to me. It really is. And as much as they use their little zingers for talking points on Fox News, the Democrats do less. Um, they go back on what a Republican has said to maybe so she can clarify or take some time to clarify. But I think they need to just like cut it out. Like Lindsey Graham's whole theatrical Lady G's today, like he had one point, and I'll give him that for that one point he made. But other than that, the rest of it was just pure dramatics. Um, but like any other, anything, you can change your mind. You can have a difference of opinion or see the facts one way in one situation and then in a different situation see the facts a different way. So I don't understand. I didn't understand him trying to hold her to Guantanamo to a sense where just because she did a briefing on the situation, in fact he tried to be like, well, I'm gonna hold you to it because you're gonna allow people to come into America to kill us. What? um just ridiculous, just ridiculous. But it's nice to see, and it's nice to see her hold her composure. You see, she didn't get red like Kavanaugh and ready to curse and fight,
cry and all of that stuff.
um,
Yeah.
and all that mess. So that was good to see. But I don't know your thoughts, if any, on this day two of.
I had to turn that shit off after a while. It gets on my nerves. It really does. Because it sounded to me more of a bitch session,
Right,
them bringing up a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm tired of for us to have been here as long as we have.
right,
Um, I'm tired of hearing that this is the first.
Yeah.
you know, and it gets old, and you get tired of just the way that they come off. It's
Right.
just we're so divided. It's
Yeah, it's not
it,
even funny. Yeah, at
it's
this point, it's really not even funny
and
how
and
divided.
you see it when by their questioning, because they sure weren't doing that when Trump was in office, jamming
Right.
those two
Not at all.
through.
Not at all. They
You
didn't
know.
bother to do it. They didn't care nothing about it.
Now
So
what we should be praying for is why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Because you know what we're ready to say, right?
yeah.
Oh, okay then. That's right. Because he in that hospital. He got the
Uh,
coon.
uh,
He got the coons, right?
uh, you already know it. His wife is scrambling. Okay, she is scrambling to try and one, make sure he makes it out, or and two, that she's covering up all their tracks so they don't end up disgraced, which they
Hmm.
should for all the bullshit that they have done.
Oh,
What's going on? It's all hot here. How are you? So I, you know, I don't really have uh, anything to say other than we are smart, we are intelligent, we are, thought thinking people. So when they come out their mouths and say, "No, you're smart as a whip, but you're, the smartest one in the room," she knows that.
hmm.
She
Oh,
knows that.
did you see her qualifications compared to the others?
To the other justices,
Where they
no.
actually had
Again,
that chart that they
right.
had, and she is the
Again,
most qualified.
right. She is the most qualified out of all of them. Like, and again, here we are dealing with somebody who is qualified, more qualified than any other, and yet you get the scrutiny when people are just even reaching for stuff. Like the one senator, I forgot his name, but he was just like, "Well, what justice do you kind of model yourself after?" And she's like, "Well, I didn't have time to really, with all that I have going on, I didn't have time to really like pinpoint
Yeah,
a
people have
particular
jobs.
justice." Well, it seems to me that you would. Why? Why would someone do that? At the end of the day, they're going to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to. I'm not here to fill someone's seat to be them. I'm here to fill their seat to be
Hmm.
myself. Um, Carry the law how I see fit, and move forward. Even when one of the senators tried to say, "Well, you don't believe that the Constitution is a living document. How can it be a living document if it's not changing
I guess
as
it doesn't change.
as times change and things evolve? Things should be added to then change and evolve the Constitution. So if it's a living and breathing document, then you need to treat it as such. It doesn't need to be, oh well, it says this in the Constitution. All right, well then, like everything else, we things grow on us and die on us, and I don't know. I just found it to be like, here we go again with the same. Oh, you're really smart, kind of bullshit. But then that kind of undertone it. You're
But then
not
you also
supposed to
too
be.
you have to remember how she probably recognize how she feels, because
Mm-hmm.
you know that we've all been there,
Right,
the only black person in the room,
right.
that type of thing. Could you imagine that? You just and these cocksucking motherfuckers. We're gonna start early,
Right.
okay? And these cocksucking motherfuckers are gonna sit up here and drill you about your qualifications when you're more qualified than anybody else
Then
that's up
people
there.
sitting in the room judging you. You know what I'm saying? And the way she was looking at Ted Cruz was so classic.
Mm, mm, mm.
Like she so wanted to rip him a new one, but she was just like, you know what? I'm gonna let you have that.
But you know what it is? But I'm sure in the back of her mind, because I know in the back of my mind, I would be sitting there just wait till I get up in that motherfucker.
Right,
I'm gonna turn this shit inside out.
right, right.
You know,
Yeah,
payback is a bitch.
yeah, it really is. It really, really is. And again, these senators are in charge of the judicial branch. That means they oversee. That's another thing I want to talk about real quick. Even when they tried to grill her on the sentences she gave to people who were involved in child pornography or whatever,
Hmm.
she's like, "I went by the law that was set forth by Congress." So
Yes. Check yourself.
right. So right. In other words, check yourselves. Like, and those same people that were up there trying to grill her were then congressmen at that time. So it's like you're sitting up there trying to grill me about the charges that the state requested and that I gave when I went through the guidelines of Congress, of the judicial branch. So, yeah, come again? So it was so like, y'all are just trying any and everything to make this work for you guys. And I just felt way um, uncalled for. Cory Booker, as always, always kind of gives some thought provoking stuff, but I don't know. I just was like, now, had you been old white man or white woman, it would have been some kickback, but it wouldn't have been all that. It would have been like, one of the bros going to the meeting hall or whatever. It's just, and it's ridiculous how Black women who do the most, especially in this political climate, always get the backlash the most, and always treated like they're unqualified for a position that none of the counterparts, when you look at them all, can match up. I mean, we can even talk about Michelle Obama being the first Black first lady that we know of.
You know what? You're gonna have to talk into the mic because we can't hear
There
you.
was others out there that didn't. That's why I don't like it. I want to change it. I'm not gonna change it now. That there was others out there who, were not educated at all. Like, had a college education and that was it. She is the most educated, and could do anything with any of her platforms. And they always downplayed her goals and achievements to just be that of the wife of Barack Obama, which like she can hold her own.
She hold her own. She doesn't need him.
Yeah,
He's just eye candy. That's all.
right.
Because she can definitely do her own thing.
Yeah.
Hey, now there's Pastor Nate, the Smart Show.
Right, the Smart Show. That is Pastor Nate.
That's Pastor Nate.
For the record.
I'm just regular Nate.
Yeah, just Brother Nate. So we got Brother Nate and Pastor Nate. B and P. Not like the gas. So let's start with that was one of the updates, but something else did that I was like, oh, we could. What was this? Oh yeah. So no charges filed. I don't know if any of you know about the Peter Spencer, the Black man who was fatally shot and killed on a camping trip with his colleagues, where he was the only Black man on the trip.
That is so strange.
Right. So very strange with this story. Let me see if I can download his picture here while I.
Okay, Summer Breeze.
Oh, dang. It won't let me do it. All right. So, it won't let me do it. All right. So, Mrs. Spencer was on a trip with his coworkers, and we don't know what happened. Allegedly, the story is that the young man was high on mushrooms, and he threatened all of his coworkers. And so then they felt the need to put damn near 5 bullet holes in his chest and other places, like literally. For me, it reeks everything of some kind of sacrifice. Like they brought him out there to him to be the sacrificial lamb for whatever Ooga Booga Blair Witch Project bullshit that they was planning to do. He just didn't know it. His family says, of course, that they plan to, of course, sue and have their own private investigation. The district attorney said that there was no evidence that they needed, Pennsylvania no less. So let that sink in for you, that they felt that there's no need to have an investigation, that they felt that the people involved acted in self-defense and that there's nothing more to it. Uh, there's a lot more to it. A man is dead, and everybody's just saying, "Oh, he attacked us." One man that apparently he had an AK-47, and he was threatening them with it, and so then they took actions and killed him. That he brought with him to this campaign trip. So you let. I'm all confused. Even the more I
It's
read, the
so
more
strange.
confused I got.
Yeah,
Where it was
that's
just
really
very
strange.
strange. It didn't make any sense to me. It brought me to the mindset of the young black man who was found with his insides missing in the school, to the young black man who was found dead in the mountain somewhere, uh, college student.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that gentleman. So I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on dark web side. Maybe it could be this whole, if you sacrifice one of them. I have no idea what's going on, but it just seems very sacrificial to me. Very, let's bring a lamb to
I know
slaughter.
it's a free for all. That's
Right,
now you see what they're how they're acting, out here in public, losing their
right,
minds. Okay,
right.
so now they figure it's really open season.
Yeah,
Don't go anywhere with your white coworkers.
right, right.
Plain and simple.
Especially don't be the only one.
Don't be the only one.
Don't be the only one. And I mean, I know we try not to be judgmental or
No, this is
in
different.
that way, but
This is
things are
different.
different. It's just
Mhm.
I don't understand it. Um, question
Summary has
on this question. You guys agree with Oprah when she said old white racists have died off?
No, they don't die.
Oh no,
They don't die.
they don't die off
They
because
don't
they
die
teach
off.
their children. They teach their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren.
They're doing it now.
Yeah. So,
You have younger people.
yeah,
I mean,
you
they're teenagers,
look at the
and look
middle
at what they're
schools,
doing.
right? Look at the
Mhm.
middle schools. You got the middle schools with the kids throwing cotton and
And whipping
whipping,
his classmates.
yeah, whipping their black uh, fellow students. How would they know about? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not watching Eyes on the Prize. They're not watching Roots. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of the thing where in which they are being taught these things. Like this is the way that they should. Uh, this is the way they should be treated. Speaking of which, and great question, this brings us to the story. Louisiana student charged with a hate crime for whipping his black classmate. Uh, so again, here we have uh, a school indoctrinated in racist activity. It's a white high school student who has been charged with a hate crime after someone was caught on video whipping a black student with a belt. Reported by the Associated Press that the student, who was reported to have thrown cotton balls at him as well. The footage incident happened in the high school cafeteria at the Vanderbilt uh, Catholic High School on March 9th. The 15-year-old white freshman walked up behind the black student and proceeded to throw cotton balls at him and whip him with his belt. The black student stood up and pushed him away. Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have grabbed the black student.
Right. Because they would have grabbed him, roughed him up, slammed him to the ground, and let the white student watch as that all
You ever
went on.
remember they have kitchen table talk too.
Yeah, they do.
They
They
do.
do. They do. It's like you can be. I mean, like any other family, you can be friends with them to a degree, but you can't. There's always that level, even with the ones that are, well, we're okay, but as long as you don't marry or bring one
Mhm.
home, date them. Uh, it's everywhere. It's unfortunate. It's like nothing we can shake, and the more we act like it doesn't exist, the worse it gets. Because in order to deal with a problem or to like cut a problem off, you have to address it. You cannot. It's like with anything, with alcoholism, with drug addiction. Like you have to do the steps. You have to go through the process. There is no way you can cleanse yourself of anything like that without going through it and dealing with everything that comes with it. Whether it's, you being bashed because people find out that your great grandpappy was a slave owner, or whatever. Okay, know that that's a part of your history, though.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ignore it.
Yeah, we had to remember too. Oprah moves in different spaces. Which kinds of which kind it it
Yeah,
it
but
kind of
Oprah,
it shields her because she can
yeah,
choose what
what
she
she
can
chooses to,
deal
right?
what she deals with and what she doesn't have
I
to.
mean, when she gets that's true, but it'd be like the last time when she
She ain't coming out here.
when she talked about those cattle when she was
Yeah.
totally against beef, and then they ganged up on her ass, and she realized, okay, well, I thought I was in that circle. I guess I'm not, and they kind of checked her a little bit.
Mm-mm.
She got a rude awakening then, but like a lot of them
No,
who
Sophia, no.
right, right. I mean, now it's of course it's not, but
Mm-mm.
at that moment, I think it was. But now she's in a different space where she can feels like she can say that's like Kamala Harris and Scott talking about this is not a racist country. like
Hey, and that was the worst thing they could have ever said. They
worse.
they should have
Well, Scott,
acknowledged that yes, it is. We have problems,
yes, yeah,
and but it's not anything that we can't overcome. But
right,
we
right.
got to
To
remember
say that
too,
it's not.
these white folks, they get ready to have a fit.
Oh yeah,
They get ready to throw a temper tantrum.
oh
Now the
yeah,
last couple of times they threw temper tantrums, they wiped out towns and
right,
things like that.
right.
We had racial disturbances. This
Yeah,
is them, people that you never had any idea that these thoughts were even going through their heads. You may see the microaggressions pick up,
right,
that type of thing.
right.
So just remember, these motherfuckers about to have a temper tantrum. But I'm
Uh,
ready and waiting for
they are indeed,
them.
Lord.
Oh yeah, they're mumbling and grumbling. Hey, Melissa,
Let
girl, how
grand,
you doing, girl?
let Grandpa make it these next 2.5 years. Let Grandpa make it, because if he don't, you thought January 6th was something. Now they about to come through the whole. They
Hmm.
about to let them walk through the whole house and tear it up.
Oh yeah, and this time they'll have helicopters and
Right,
armored tank
right,
vehicles and
right,
everything else. They're
yeah,
worried about the Ukraine.
yeah,
Sheesh, they need to worry about DC.
right. That's crazy. So yeah, and yeah, so no charges, like I said, will be filed on the
Yeah,
people
that
that
is just
killed
so
the young
that is
man.
just so
That is,
strange because
yeah,
they
that
didn't even
really
take
is.
anybody into custody.
No
It's like
one,
they
like
just
not a soul.
came and picked up the body, and
That's it.
we were drinking beers or whatever, but
Right.
never, I always kept a distance between my
Yeah.
co-workers.
Yeah. Me too.
I never I don't
Right.
want to associate with you outside. Very few,
Maybe it'd be a
definitely.
one timer where it'd be like, oh, we going,
No,
because there
not
used to
even
be
at
a
the Christmas
bar
party. Are you coming? No,
downstairs,
you won't see
and
me.
there would be a bar, outside the building, and we would go right there directly for drinks after work. But that would be
Hmm.
it. Like it wouldn't be like, no, oh, let's go. No,
Oh,
mm-mm,
nope.
nope.
Mm-mm. I'm having a barbecue. Well, enjoy.
Right. How did the barbecue go on Monday?
And did not have any problem in telling them why. I said I don't, associate with people out of the workplace. You are my coworker.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be that way. Well, no, if I have to read you,
Right.
then
Right.
there's,
Right.
it's nothing personal.
It's
It's
nothing
business.
personal. Exactly.
You have to, understand where your boundaries are.
Right. Um, Speaking of boundaries, this is just so free. Like we're getting into all this little choopy jobby stuff. All right, so an Arkansas judge rules that voting laws unfairly restrict access. So as the Republicans, of course, all over the country push to, you know, dismantle voting rights uh, for this 2022 upcoming midterm election to ensure that 2024 goes smooth sailing. An Arkansas judge has declared that the voting that they've been doing, the purging that they've been doing in their state, is unfair and it restricts access to many individuals. This, I found it to be a pleasant surprise, only because a lot of judges, especially in red states, are for the shits.
Oh yeah.
So I was very surprised that this even like made it to news headline where it was like, oh, really? Yeah. So they have
But then you
right,
know what too? You have to remember too that there are two types of Republicans.
right,
You
right.
still have the old guard
Yeah, that is true. That
and
is
you have the Trumplicans.
the Trumplicans. Yeah, that is
Yeah, so it's totally different.
yeah. So, according to the laws, which include Act 249, which requires photocopies of the voter IDs to be submitted in order to get a provisionary ballot, excuse me, to for your vote to be counted. Um, and all these other things that we did not have to
Have
do.
to do.
Uh, let's say Act 728, which
No,
restricts the ability to stand within 100 feet of a polling site unless you are voting and bans people from handing out water or snacks at the polling places. Now, this was done during a lot of the more popular elections because people were coming out in droves. They were doing the Sunday voting. Uh, you know, sometimes heat waves in certain places, so they were providing foods and snacks for the people standing in line to encourage them to stay in line. They banned that. Also, Act 736, which reduces the number of the ways election workers are allowed to cross check voter signatures on absentee ballots, meaning they can't cross check it, they'll just throw it out. So many people's votes will be thrown out.
yeah, because
And
the
so on and so forth.
one thing about the signatures, they were
Mhm.
saying that if your signature didn't match, but your signature changes over the years.
Right.
If you signed up in 1968
Right. When you
and they
was a
still have
spring chicken.
that same signature on file,
Right.
you know, it's going to
It was
change over the
ridiculous.
years with arthritis and things like
Yeah,
that, you
right.
know.
So it's really ridiculous. But they're trying
Or maybe you put down the drink, you no longer have the trimmers, you know.
that, I think it's really ridiculous. We just need to stay on guard. Like it's not even about just talking about it. It's about doing the work, noticing that these things are happening. Like while we're sleeping or worrying about if Joe Biden is sleeping at the wheel, they are totally gutting the car. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's
you
nothing.
looking at this shell like,
You
oh,
might only have
oh,
tires. That'll be
right,
about it.
right,
At the
right.
rate they're going, they're taking everything.
Everything,
The bucket seats, the radios.
everything, everything. You'll have a car and have tinted windows and everything. You're like, oh, this is nice. Open up the door, won't be shit in it. So yeah,
Not a thing.
just be mindful that this is really, really happening. Now, on the health side of things, real quick, just to switch things up, doctors fighting racial health disparities and facing threats and harassment. We've talked about this time and time again, but the American Medical Association has joined with the Chief Health Equality Officer back in 2019 to to fight racial disparities in medicine. Now we talked about how, especially with the onset of the C word, and how you know communities, black and others of color, were not getting adequate care, and then it showed the level of care that in the communities compared to white counterparts, that they did not have the equipment to actually handle an onslaught of people actually having breathing problems or being placed on some kind of ventilation temporarily or whatever, that a lot of the communities of black and of color did not have that equipment. So of course this has all brought back to the attention of many that the health care system has disparities in and of itself. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how many times we talk about it over and over and over and over and over again. And I know, for some it's like, oh, again, but yeah, this is really this happens.
It's real. It's
It's
real.
real. Yeah. It's really real. So we definitely want to uh make sure that we are
It is
being aware
definitely
because
real.
it is out there. It's not just, again, we're not just talking about a justice system that is unequal. We're talking about healthcare. We're talking about economics. We're talking about a whole lot of things that are uh, designed to keep a leg up on another group. Uh, and this is just one part. Any thoughts on that? Also wanted to talk about
It's real. That's all I have to say.
the
Because we
that
do. We talk
article.
about it a lot, and
Yeah,
it's pretty bad because it keeps popping up in the news.
right,
And
right.
so it's really a problem, and we need
Yeah,
to be aware of it
yes,
because
yes.
it affects the care that you get.
Let's,
Did you see Summer Breeze's question?
no, hold on. Let me go back. 'Cause which one?
I think they're both the same. One has just added more to it.
This one. Generating petitions in these states. Long slavery laws are obsolete. You're fine. Um, live in a Republican state. Um, well, again, that has a lot to do. What's that? Which one? I'm going to break down. Nephew text. Okay, well, let me go back to this one. Maybe I can. Okay, make sure I didn't miss nothing. All right. Yeah. So a lot of times, what happens with the polling situation in general, uh, that a lot of people don't know how it's run and operated. They usually start getting the people and things together a few months before the election. They do a lot of test runs and things of that nature. Now, the board of elections are local officials, so they pretty much dictate how that election is going to be run in that state. There is no, um, unfortunately, there is no state, how can I, like, no country wide rule on how to govern your election process. There are certain methods, of course, that every state has to adhere to as far as the tally of the votes, where it's tallied, or all of that. But as far as the locations and where things can be held and the times, that is really open up for any state to choose, how they want to work it or what's beneficial to them, which creates the problem because you then have Republican states that have uh, cut back a lot of their things, like the mail-in ballots. Since they know that COVID was happening, they have cut that. They have cut the Sunday voting out completely, in many states, because they know that that is beneficial to a lot of the black people in the black community, because that's when a lot of the older black voters go out and vote. They vote on that Sunday. Um, so it's strategic in a lot of ways, that I wish that the Voting Rights Act became a mandated nationwide thing where it had everything set, uh, to where if you violated the law, period. But it does not, unfortunately. What'd you say,
Yeah,
Lynn?
yeah, Lynn. Unfortunately, I think
Yeah,
it's gonna be rougher.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
It's
then
gonna
they took away, and then a lot of the states like Georgia had a mixed group uh, of um, poll,
Mhm,
administrators, um, and due to the fact that Trump lost, they kicked them all out.
mhm.
So it's like, if you're not trying to set this up to ensure that this person gets in, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like this is exactly what you're doing. You're just making sure that, hey, this person, we got to get him back in. Like, for what? For what? Um, yeah, it is, but that's the difference. And I'm glad you brought that up. Atlanta is the melting pot for Black entertainers and entrepreneurs, um, and the sad thing about that is the only person that has to worry about that is the governor of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality. Because if he does something to step out of line and somebody like a Tyler Perry says, okay, cool, no problem. This is the way you want to act. I'll just take
I'll
my
pack my shit up and
studio.
go.
Right. I'll take my studio and go someplace else.
No,
That's
I'll pack my girdle and go.
right. I'll pack my girdle and go. That is, that's a loss for the state.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not willing to bargain that. I trust and believe he knew that if he jumped on that bandwagon with Trump and said, the election was stolen, Georgia, let's do a recap, we're gonna cancel these votes and do another hope. He already knows that that studio was walking. I'm sure of it. Tyler Perry would have found some other place. He was walking. Yeah. And he probably had already told him, listen, if you go along these lines, we're walking. So if you want this money to go,
mm-hmm.
I advise you to choose carefully. And he made the choice not to, to go after that whole ghost of, Georgia is one of the states too. You see, they didn't even jump in that. Mm-hmm. They wanted to, I'm sure. But they thought about it as far as would it be beneficial to them as a state? It wouldn't. They'd be dependent upon the White House right now. Trust and believe it. It's sad but true. Yeah. No, it really is. It's crazy. It's really crazy. But yeah, they knew it. They knew it. They would have. Now, trust and believe that there was no real big kind of boom in Atlanta where all this money comes in from artists, from music, television, movie stars. You got studios of shows that I'm sure none of us even watch use Tyler Perry Studios.
We know them wigs though.
But it's a lot of money runs through Atlanta, and of course, benefits the state of Georgia. So there are certain things that he knew that if he pushed that button and went along that gravy train, Trump may have liked it. But at the end of the day, if they would have still said Biden won, even with them breaking, Georgia's votes, you're stuck. Then, then now you got to try and make revenue for your state. That he can't just give you, revenue because you went on board, because again, that would be unethical and start to raise flags. But, it's just, it really is crazy. It really is crazy. But, these people.
Yeah. Speaking of Atlanta, did anybody catch Star Trek Discovery?
No, I didn't see it, but I did hear that
Stacey Abrams did a cameo at the end
of Earth.
Yes, the president. A motherfucker howled. Okay, that caught me totally off guard because
not of the United States, but of the whole Earth, damn planet.
Earth. Yes, she walked out there. Yeah, motherfucker was howling.
Thing. Said, fuck the United States. I want the world.
Of Earth. My goddamn cats was looking at me like, this motherfucker done lost his mind. I wish I had thumbs now. I can't get the fuck out the house. But I was real surprised.
Yeah, I heard
really,
about
really
that.
Surprised.
I gotta check that episode out. But
it's the very last episode for this season.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting and very telling with Putin still having his baby fit and still trying to destroy Ukraine and everything around it, which is crazy to me, because then it's like, okay, if you destroy it, then what are you going to do? Because you don't have the money to rebuild it, so it's going to be sitting there in rubble, and the people just want to live in rubble. Okay.
No, he just wants access to those areas. remember those nuclear. Then he has those nuclear plants there,
Right.
and more access to the waterways, warmer
Mhm.
waterways.
Right.
Um, but remember too, this was not the first time he's attacked them.
Mm.
But the thing that makes it so
Wow. That's
scary is the fact that we're having this issue with a country that has nuclear capability. So
yeah.
that's why you have to handle it with the kid gloves.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
I
know,
think
so,
that's why they're not
yeah,
pressing.
pressing it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they're not pressing. But great news. There were some African women out in the UK that have come together to help get a lot of the students out of
Hmm.
the Ukraine, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that motherfucker. They were moving some money.
Money,
They
two
were moving
hundred thousand dollars
dollars
through what's that? GoFundMe.
through GoFundMe.
Through GoFundMe and other avenues, were able to get money together from various groups, and it was great to see Black women doing it.
Hmm.
Whatever the nationality or nation that they came from, to come together and get those students out and to band together. I was like, that's what it's great to see.
Yes,
Because
because they were
other races,
coordinating flights and
yeah, coordinating flights,
what is it?
Airbnb,
Airbnbs and things
yeah,
like that. Uber
mhm,
rides.
Uber rides, yeah,
It was crazy, and they did all this from their homes.
right, busing and everything, and haven't met each other.
They haven't met each other.
They've been doing this, just getting on the
So I
phone.
have to applaud the sisters.
Yeah, definitely give the sisters, they deserve that one. That's big. That is big. We need to start
No, those
really.
hand claps were big. That sounded like a lot of bubble wrap. I was like, God damn.
It is a lot of bubble wrap. Yeah, but no, seriously, shout out to them. I think that's awesome. We need to be more proactive like that in all aspects. Um, you know, and really
Now
get on.
that is a good example of working within the diaspora,
Yeah,
not allowing borders to kind of
to
cut
stop.
us off and stop us.
But that was awesome that they were able to do that and raise that much money in such a short period of
And
time.
short, yeah,
Yeah, a short period of time. Yeah,
yeah,
black
black
women,
women can take
yeah,
nothing and make something out of it every time.
all the
And I don't know
time.
why these fucking men don't understand that. They think that that women are their fucking enemies, man. They just, well, you know what it is? It's immaturity.
Yeah, that's all. That's
You know,
all.
it is. It's really immature. They won't figure it out until they're like 45,
Yeah.
going into their 50s.
Let's
That's when their
let's hope.
juices. That's when their
Let's hope.
juices slow down. You know what that shit is.
Let's hope. Let's hope. But yeah, that again, shout out to those women. Let's see what we have here. Oh, great news! Now we go from that to some more bullshit. The firing squad for executions has gotten the green light in South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina has given the green light to the firing squad execution, a method that was basically outlawed, has now come back last year after a decades-long pause in carrying out death sentences because of the state's inability to do the legal, the lethal
Injection.
injection.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I read this and thought, oh, we are gunning for what's that show? The ladies with the habit things
Oh,
on.
the wives' tale out. Well,
Yeah,
wives' tale.
Wives' Tale or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Take
Handmaid's
care.
Tale. Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's
Yeah,
tale. Uh-huh.
that, we're straight for it. Like literally, take it out the book. Who is making? Who is in the pit going? Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do this again. Firing squads? Really? Is that necessary?
Yeah,
Because
but
the injection apparently
well, they,
causes pain.
well,
To the
no, actually, the company that manufactures the drugs for lethal injection stopped manufacturing it.
Right. Yeah, of course.
and they were trying to find some other substitute. They actually had a guy. It took 3 or 4 hours for this guy to
Yeah,
die.
for the
So
person to
he
die.
ended up
Yeah.
suffering throughout the whole thing.
Mhm. But
But
there was one guy that didn't die at all. They had to like,
yeah, what the hell you do that?
yeah,
You live through your execution.
right.
So is it what is it, double jeopardy?
Double jeopardy, right? Yeah, like
You
he lived
know,
through it,
he
so
lived through it, so it's like let him go home.
right.
Even though burned him up and he's probably a junkie now, brain dead or something. What do you do?
I mean, it's
I
just,
mean, you
they
treat
treat
animals
animals
better than
better.
that.
Yeah, they do. They really do. And we'll hang you to dry. That's the animal. But you have you have a true disregard for human life. The
Hmm.
same people that like to quote about saving a fetus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It really doesn't make any sense. You can save a fetus, but you can put
Well, no,
somebody in front of a firing squad.
you got to say that feeds because you got to have extra workers to be able to get money from somebody.
Oh,
You got to have
oh,
you have to have an underclass. You have to have a poor.
you said what was his crime?
I don't know.
Um,
Who knows?
who
Because
knows?
they have them on death row for so long,
Right. I think they even forget their crimes. They'd be on there for so long. I
so
mean, they'd be
long.
like 15, 20 years on death row.
But even not even that, you have some that were still, professing their innocence,
Right.
and
Right.
it's
And
still,
and
they
the
no
judge
longer.
are directing to even hear their cases over.
Yeah. So
Um, let's
I mean,
see.
unless you know 100%, we have him on camera. We saw him, like Kyle Rittenhouse. His ass should have been fried up.
Right.
You know,
Right. Definitely.
plain and simple. When you have nothing but the truth, you
Mhm.
actually see him. You have all the evidence. Everything points towards this person doing that. Other than that, I think you need to be warehoused.
I'm trying to see if they was talking about they brought it back because it kind of saved money. Because what they're
Was only
saying,
what they have like one bullet.
the renovations for the firing squad was only like 56,000. But I
All
was
you need
trying to
is a
see
chair and a brick wall
how much,
and the guns and the what?
right?
How much are bullets? Oh,
How
well, you
much
only
is
have
that?
one. Well, I don't know if they still do that. It's usually when they have the firing squad, they actually have several
Yeah,
gunners,
they do. They
but
do.
only one has the bullet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because even as the executioners, they really don't want you to have that shit on your mind either.
oh. So, and the person doesn't know who has the bullet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, it's no more than the person pressing the button to do an injection. But yeah, I
Well,
was trying to
they have
see.
volunteers for that.
Right, but I was trying to see how much it was. But they said they only spent $53,600.
Oh shit! I could have went down to the. I could have went over to IKEA, got a chair,
Right, right,
get a
right,
get a
right.
get a get a nice
Uh,
do rag. You just tie it around their
yeah.
eyes, and that's it. And call it square.
Um, so
But
some
that's
sad news to report as well, so we can start coming into some lighter stuff. Uh, Elise Maldry, the trans activist who was missing since last week, was found dead in Lake Michigan
mhm.
near Evanston. She is a 31-year-old LGBT rights, and she worked for the Chicago Therapy Collective and also did some work with the AIDS Foundation of Chicago. Uh, yeah, she was found dead along the lakefront of Evanston on Thursday. She's been identified as missing since Saturday.
Now I remember hearing about them finding a body, but they hadn't identified the body.
Oh, okay.
I do remember that. Then, like later on, it came back. Well, actually, who it was, the idea of who it was.
Yeah. The police previously said that there was no signs of foul play to her disappearance. Um, However, they are opening up a new investigation since they have found her body. And let's I read this, but I didn't really go. Hmm. Wow. So she had a book club and everything.
Hmm.
Really crazy. Uh, She was awarded for the upcoming Chicago Trans Visibility Pageant, which was organized by her lifelong work with Black and Brown trans-led social services agencies on the west side of Chicago. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. I don't know. This is again another story of another activist, regardless of uh, gender identity, uh, murdered. And a lot of times I'm just like, there's got to be a person in this, like a community person
Hmm.
in this, helping to facilitate this, because you would stand out anyway, any other way. You would stand to me. You would stand out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you would be like, okay, So it's really sad. It's really unfortunate that these murders go unanswered.
Yeah,
Uh,
but there's so many.
so right.
There are just so many.
Yes, yes.
And
And
these
then
are, these are public figures,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
So, um,
What did you say, Baps? Did you read Baps?
uh, did you see the article about whether or not firing squads are more humane than lethal injection? No, I didn't read that article. I mean, I did read somewhere where they were saying that the lethal injection was dangerous and that the people were in uh, literally being tortured
Hmm.
as they are awaiting death from the injection, and that some of them burned from the inside. Uh,
Yeah.
so they were trying to find a more
Because there's actually like three chemicals that they use.
right. Yeah. Well,
One
one is
puts
just
one puts you to sleep,
put you to sleep.
one immobilizes you, and the other one
Yeah,
actually
stops your heart or something.
stops your heart. But I would think with the firing squad, just they're shooting at the heart. It's not as
I
though
would
they're
think
doing
that that's just the
headshots.
same. Yeah, I would think that, but that's just the same. It's like
Yeah.
you don't know. We don't know what.
Yeah, if it's instantaneous.
Right. We don't
Because it's
know.
not there isn't brain death.
Right.
It's not instantaneous. Like
Right.
I said, they don't do headshots.
Yeah. And we don't know. We can assume that you know the body doesn't feel anything, or the person doesn't feel anything if it's an instant shot. We don't know that for sure. We can't say.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't. They like to always question what's humane, what's not humane. But these are the same people that don't mind killing others.
Yeah.
You know, everything has a reason to, I guess, for them. Let's see. Black teen with sickle cell disease, the first gene therapy patient out of Texas. Something Texas has done that really I could say, go Texas. Okay. Sickle cell disease, which
It's
has
not often you can say
no,
say something good.
no, about Texas. No,
Yeah.
not at all. But sickle cell disease, of course, that affects many uh, Black people or many African Americans, however you want to call yourself. It is a disease that attacks, of course, the blood cells. Has devastated many. And the 17-year-old girl uh, who has often landed in the hospital for weeks dealing with sickle cell has now had the chance for her blood disease to actually be cured. Um, and it's by a bone marrow transplant from her matching sibling. She has become the first patient in the Houston based Texas Medical Center to receive the gene therapy of the sickle cell disease by modifying the patient's blood in the lab. The patient can now be their own donor. Hmm, interesting.
Yeah, because your likelihood of finding a match.
Yeah.
Even in, even, remember, even identical twins aren't
Twins don't
necessarily
right. Yeah,
identical.
that is
Yeah.
that is true. That is true. So that's great news for that because I know some people myself who suffer from sickle cell anemia,
Mm.
and it is something that runs rampant through our community. So that's great news on that. And I am once again proud to say, Texas, you did something right.
Mm.
About time.
Yeah, but
Um,
don't worry, next week I'll be
yeah,
here.
next week, Governor Hotwood will be back on the bullshit.
Uh-huh. You know,
Get him
definitely.
ready. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Did you see the one about the strip search? International news.
boy, firing squad. What's this one? Pick up this one. Nope. Oh wait, no, I did. I thought I read it though, but I thought I posted it up here. But I don't see it. Hold on.
Because that could easily happen here.
Yeah,
I can see that happening here.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. Here it is. I like this one. No, not this one. No, take that out. DNC. And I had it all set up too. Yes, here we go. I like this one. That was the first one I pulled up. All right. Teach called police on a girl for suspicion of drug possession. And upon the teacher calling the police, the girl's mother was not contacted as the officers, uh, you know, underwent an investigation and interrogation on this 15-year-old girl. Now, where was this? Might you ask? Hey, Kat, where was this? This was in London. A 15-year-old black girl was strip searched by police at her school in London. The Guardian has reported a council review has found racism to be a contributing factor, surprise, surprise, on how officers handled the situation. The officers responded to a call from teachers who alleged that the girl smelled marijuana. I'm going to just hit that one right there. So, because she smelled the marijuana, we already assumed that she was smoking. And so you had her strip searched.
Could have been the teacher.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it could have been so many other. It's so crazy. First of all, you had her strip searched, a 15-year-old girl without having her parents present.
Now,
Already.
read them the description of the strip search.
Okay,
you want me to tell them? I'll tell them.
That made me more angry. But
oh, okay. Okay, take out your anger.
No, that's okay. So, let's see. Where did I find it? Because I highlighted it somewhere. Where is it? 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 Where'd it go? No.
Yes, Babs.
Okay, I'm gonna overlook it. Well, go ahead. You could say
okay.
It.
Oh, they did a jailhouse strip search. That's when you bend over, spread and spread your cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also on her menstrual cycle.
Yep. I just saw
now this is a butt naked, like you go to jail.
Yeah, this is like a butt naked cough.
Yeah, and cough.
Yeah. And they made her take out her
sanitary
napkin or whatever she was using to complete the search. And then after that, they want to apologize.
First of all, I don't know who's her mother.
Right.
I'd have whipped everybody's fucking ass.
Everybody. And now
where's her people?
Mm-hmm. The police decided to have a private or independent officer conduct a.
Because they don't carry guns.
No, they don't. They
Oh,
don't carry guns
we'd
at
be
all.
whipping ass.
Yeah,
We'd be whipping ass.
yeah, they don't
So
carry.
now the young lady,
It's
of course,
traumatized.
she's traumatized by the
Yeah,
whole thing.
she
She's
was
a recluse.
extremely,
Can you
she was
imagine? That's
extremely
horrifying.
traumatized. Just scarred for life.
Mhm.
And I mean, again, here you dealing with situations where children are not even safe. And as much as we talk about save the children or guard the children or protect the children, internationally, our
Mhm.
children aren't safe. We find ourselves in being unsafe at sometimes. It's daunting. The all the pressure that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. But
Mhm.
yeah, apologize, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sick of hearing that shit too.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
wants to, oh, we'll offer you apologies. Fuck your apologies. And I need
right,
somebody to say that for once.
right. Yeah,
Everything, you cannot just whisk it away or wipe it away and it goes,
mhm,
and it
yeah,
just disappears, because it doesn't. You've totally altered this child's life.
yeah. You sure have.
Hey, Auntie
Mhm.
Donna, how you doing?
No turning back from that. Hey, Auntie Donna, how are you? Nice to see you. And that last story, I thought I pulled that one up too, but I don't know where that.
Yeah, that is crazy. Apologies, apologies. But you
I
hear
guess
that for all sorts of shit.
I'm not. All right. So the last story was, of course, uh, this pregnancy drug, and forgive me because I
Yes.
read it the last minute, but
Hmm.
it was
Yeah,
really good.
I had to go
Definitely.
back and so I still can't remember how to pronounce the damn name.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was like, I got close, and then I started working and doing other stuff, and I was like, oh, darn, I gotta go back and I forgot to do it. But the name of the drug was Makina. Makina is the name of
Makina,
it.
yeah.
The drug is actually through a company called Apollo Global Management.
And this is a
And Makina,
60-year-old drug.
right? It's a
So
really
they so
old drug that they was given out in the 40s by the name of and don't judge me, and I can't read, but the medical terms and stuff be like, uh, wait, what was it? Once I find it out, I know what it is. This was a really long article, but anyway,
oh yeah, it was long as
um,
shit.
yeah, it was. When I thought I was done, I was like, oh, there's more. Uh, so anyway, in a nutshell, there is a drug that was given to largely black women and women of color. Uh, the goal was to, or the drug claimed the goal was to stop premature births and, that carry birth defects like disabilities or anything of that nature. Uh, and come to find out, doesn't work. Never worked. Uh, that in fact it was supposed to stop premature births, and the premature births actually just kept coming, and some have even increased with some women taking this drug. Um, and the FDA was like, "No, we're going to stop this drug because it doesn't work. It still had stillbirths um, that they were concerned about. There was so many other questions that the drug was raising, even the fact that the drug could, uh, taking the drug, not only could it affect the child, but it also could affect generations
Yes, that
of
blew my
that
mind.
same family from mother to child to grandchild
With
uh,
possibilities of cancers.
of cancer, right? With possibilities of cancer in the family. So that's something that I'm trying to think of what the drug was named in the 40s.
Oh,
Where was it? I
I think it
just
was the same name, wasn't it?
no, it was because it was something like I was like, oh, hold up, no, no, no. Where is it? See, I should have just took it out when I saw it the first time. I was like, no, I don't have time, and I'll go back and um take it out, and I did.
Let's see.
Um, I'll find it. When I find it, I'll be like, oh, there it is. New. But
Uh,
anyway, yeah, the side effects of this drug uh, are crazy. The company, and the reason why I brought even this article up, along with that, of course, because we always have to protect
Yeah, yeah.
one our women and our
It's pronounced
children.
McKenna.
McKenna, okay. Um, but what is the the original name? That's why I was trying to find the original name of it. No, what is that? But anyway, the and I'll find it at some point. The shut it up. The drug itself uh, wasn't doing anything, but they found a way. The drug company found a way to have it make money. To then, if the large hospitals and doctors were not going to distribute it to mothers, that they were going to make sure that they went to local doctors and even joined medical clubs and groups, put money in the medical club and groups so they could then go to their retreats and have meetings with all these doctors saying, hey, this drug really works. It really, you know, fights against premature births in Black women and nothing. Uh, it
No,
was
no.
given out to more Black women than it was the white counterparts.
Hmm.
Uh,
Not only that, there were supposed to be 13 injections,
yeah,
and they wanted to make more money, so
right,
they doubled. So they
right.
doubled it.
They went from they started their injection cost for one shot like $1,000+.
Hmm.
They got so much heat on raising the price that they lowered it just a couple, like maybe 600 and something dollars a shot. But originally, for this set of 13, it was costing uh, about 30,000 at first, which it still is a pretty penny even at six per shot. But you had to take 13 shots. So they claim that the reason why the placebo, that's what I'm gonna call it because it's like
Hmm. Because it doesn't do
uh,
anything.
right, was not
No, no, it
working.
does do something. It makes them spend money.
Makes me right, was not working because uh, it they weren't completing the 13 shot cycle, which there are some cases where women have completed the 13 shot cycle and they still had premature births.
Hmm.
So again, what was the but this well, it wasn't surprising, but it was definitely shocking to hear that a lot of these pharmaceutical companies join these medical groups and get in bed with a lot of these physicians in hospitals to ensure that their drugs get sold and get utilized in the hospitals, uh, which made me go, wow, that's really crazy. Again, here's another system set up to make sure we can do a genocide a different way. We don't always have to do it that way. We can, set it up and do it a
This
different.
is why we need these fetuses so we can have more people to experiment on.
Yeah, yeah. That too. That too. That too. That makes perfect sense. While you're pushing
Hmm.
to get rid of the abortion act and all this other kind of stuff. So
Now here again, black women.
right.
The the woman that brought this all to light is a
Mhm.
black woman from Baltimore.
Yep.
She's had 3 pregnancies,
Yeah.
2 which were on the drug, which did not stop her from having premature births.
Right.
But her third, because of the side effects, depression, she just
Hmm.
felt disoriented, and the issues that she had with her last 2 pregnancies, she had a normal vaginal birth.
Yeah. Yep. And then she started, of course, telling her story, and it
Hmm.
caught wind. And now they're uncovering that this 40-year-old drug, or probably even older than that, has been selling and been given to Black communities,
Yeah.
Black women, to help them promote healthy births. But meanwhile, they've known all along that it does not do that and don't do anything
Hmm.
uh, but continue a cycle of
Yeah.
premature births. And and even deaths in some cases.
And what they're really afraid of is with them fast tracking um, the Rona,
Mm-hmm.
medications, the
Right.
injection, uh, inoculations,
Right.
that you're going to see a rise in new drugs being fast tracked without being proven. They're afraid of that happening also.
Yeah, but they were able to do. They did that with this. They because the FDA wouldn't approve it.
Prove it.
They they
Yeah, but
kind
they
of
were still able to
right.
go
They
over their
worked
heads.
around it. Yeah, they worked
And I
around
see,
it. They,
and that's the one thing they're afraid of. They're afraid that they see that they were able to do that with this drug, even though
mhm.
it's an old drug and it has
Yeah,
no use
that's all they
whatsoever.
did. They
That,
changed the
that
name.
hmm
They may
yeah,
have
that's another
added
thing.
an
They just
ingredient or
change it, the
two.
same exact thing,
Yeah,
change the name,
yeah,
and we're gonna. It does this, and it really doesn't do anything.
right,
That now you're gonna have something else,
right. And
some other
not to
drug.
mention that you had a Democratic senator pushing,
Yeah,
encouraging,
how much
pushing
stock
it
did he
out.
have?
Huh?
How much stock did he
Right, right.
have?
That too. So again, we don't get caught up in D's and P's over here because everybody plays when it comes to money.
Oh,
Like some
you're a cracker, you're a cracker. It don't matter.
right, people will do a lot of things for some
Mhm.
money. They don't really care too much about
And
who it
who they
affects
fuck over.
because it's all about the money at the bottom. At
No,
the
they
end.
go to bed and they're sleeping well.
Yeah, they are. They ain't worried about what I'm saying. Like what are they worried about you for when their family is eating and gonna eat for years and generations off of making a deal uh, with a pharmaceutical company. They don't have to live with the repercussions. I mean, they may for a while if this comes out, but
No, they don't.
how long? Right,
You watched them on TV
right,
today. Them motherfuckers
right.
ain't thinking about shit.
That's what I'm saying. But you're gonna talk about it for a hot second. It's gonna be on the news cycle for a minute. He's gonna apologize that he didn't know, and we're gonna go back to business as usual. So, but yeah, so that's great. All right, now to some great news. I think we're finished with that, and let me know if we're not. But a black student out of Chicago has become the first ever to get a perfect score on the SATs
Yeah, that was great.
or the ACTs.
ACTs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
ACTs. My bad. Yeah, first ever to get a perfect score on the ACTs.
Mhm.
Um, he has made history even in his own school. 42-year history, as a matter of fact. He is part of only 1% of students who have achieved a perfect score across the country.
All that shit is boring. You heard that? I know you've taken it. It's unreal. 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this? I'm just on a Saturday morning. I'm usually asleep with my cereal, and I'm sitting in here in this hard ass seats for 3 hours.
Yeah, it was a long time. It was a long time.
Unreal.
That's, well, I mean, I took it twice. The first time I took it, I just wanted to take it because I usually just like to do that. It's
Yeah,
like
you just
the
take it
experience.
beforehand.
And then once I do that, then it's like, okay, I'll take it again, and then really because I
I,
know
I
what I'm expecting. I don't like to like take something I like not
because
know.
now, well, a lot of colleges now they're I guess they're like opting out of doing
Yeah,
it.
they're kind of phasing out certain.
They should because it's bias. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
none of that shit apply.
It is
I'm a black male in the city. I don't know.
well,
All that half of that shit's white shit. The
that is,
language,
and
and
that's
that's
part of the problem. A lot of the curriculum that it focuses on is not taught in a lot of in a lot
yeah,
of
and a lot of pressure too.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
And it right, and it puts on a lot of pressure. And then for what when a lot of the schools, as we know from the scandals that even the white rich folks that had the money to do all this have done, um, people get in how they get in, and it
oh
really
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
even matter.
No matter. You can be an athlete, not be an athlete, right?
Right.
I'm on the rowing. I'm on the rowing
I'm
team.
on the rowing team. Don't know how to row shit.
Oh
I'm
man.
the towel boy for the basketball team on
Team.
a full scholarship.
Yes, I shine the balls.
Yeah. I'm a good ball shiner.
Mhm.
It's crazy. It's absolutely,
Mm,
absolutely.
mm, mm. Oh, what do you think about that? Uh, that woman's oh man, swimming match with a trans woman won. Did you hear about
Oh, I
that?
didn't read that. I heard about it, but I didn't read that. They said she was speaking out.
Let me tell you something. That bitch looked like that bitch looked like Caitlyn Jenner standing next to
Oh,
them women.
dang.
About 6'2", 6'3".
Wow.
And the bad part about she first of all, she shouldn't have been able to participate
Compete. Mhm.
because she has only been transitioning for a year.
Oh, no.
Okay, a year. I don't know if that was a stunt or what, but they knew damn well that she should not. Of course, and she now in the men's,
Uh-huh.
she ranked 400 in the men's.
Of course.
Uh-huh. But in the women's,
Of course.
that bitch was now see, I'm calling her a bitch because she
Yeah.
knew goddamn well she stand up there. She ain't even had breasts. She had, you start get the
Oh, the little
tittlings,
nubs,
you
yeah.
get the little tittlings,
The little
and
tickling.
yeah, and
She did a Joanna Man. she did she did a Joanna Man. That's crazy.
it was crazy because she had on, she had on a woman's bathing suit, and it's like that's all man in there. I said that is all man in there. I was like, I don't,
That is
and
crazy.
nothing against it.
That is crazy.
We can't help how we are born,
Yeah, that part
you
is
know.
true, but I think they should
But
create.
no, she shouldn't have been in there. She
They
should not
should
have been in
create
there.
their own competition
Hmm.
group to compete against.
Not only that, she would, and plus she is the age. It's not as though she was a younger person who parents gave the okay for her to
Uh-huh.
actually start to go through the physical transformation of hormone blockers.
Right,
You're looking at a 6'2" man against this five all these little girls.
little
Like,
girls.
what the fuck is it? And this is a big girl with a dick, okay? There was no way in the world. There's that advantage of she was able to still mature in a male's body. She
Right,
still has male muscle.
right, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was my thing when you were saying that she had just transitioned a year ago. I'm
A
like,
year. Yeah, but it was a
she still
year.
has male muscle mass and
Yeah.
all that. So I'm sure she wiped she
Oh,
wiped
she
the
sure did. That motherfucker was floating.
teeth.
She was floating, but there was no. I was like, what got? And seeing now, I'm thinking it's like, well, where does she change her clothes?
Right, right,
Because she's still anatomically a male.
right,
And I mean, she's nowhere near a female. I don't
right.
care what they say. Even when her voice was not as deep as mine because they're white, but her her voice was deep, you
Yeah,
know.
crazy.
And
No,
then I think about the South African runner Caster Semenya,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you look at her, it's like it's like, wait a minute, why is that guy? No, no, that is a woman.
Right,
It is
yeah.
a female, you know,
That is a
just
female.
has an extra chromosome.
Yeah,
But
no,
goddamn, and she said they stand up there interviewing her, and I'm like, all of you are fucking fraud. Now DeSantis down in Florida had something to say about it.
yeah, I heard.
We're not gonna recognize her
Yeah, yeah,
because,
I
and I'm
heard.
like, well, yeah, I kind of, I said, I fucking hate to agree with your ass because I just hate you so much, you know. God damn, it's
Well, I
like,
mean,
oh
at that point for that, I would. Yeah, I see it. I mean, I really think, you know, I could be the unpopular opinion on this, but I just think that they should have a league or some sort of
yeah,
competition space for them to equally compete against each other.
yeah,
And
because I don't think she'll ever
yeah,
for
because
me,
her,
ever be able to compete against him because she is built as a man.
yeah,
She
yeah. I
is
mean,
larger.
it doesn't
She has
matter
been able
how
to. She's been able to develop into a full grown man. She was a
right,
full grown man.
right, yeah,
You know, like I said, it's not as though they did the transition as she was going into puberty and
Yeah.
things like that. So her height may be stunted,
Mhm.
her lung capacity may be stunted
Right.
as that of a female and things like that. And she had tittlings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Them little titties, for those of you who
Mhm.
don't know.
Like, what is that? Oh, you're blossoming. Like,
You need a training bra.
that's a- he was. She was swimming with that third tail. You know, her ass was moving through that water.
Not the third tail.
Uh-huh. Shit. And this is not bashing trans people.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I still think that they need to be.
Yeah, but in that case, there's like a no.
In many cases, it's like if you, I get it. You want to compete where you feel, that is your space, and that part is fine because I'm not here to judge you on how you identify yourself. But I think there needs to be a space where they need to grab other athletes in that area meaning field to then compete against each other.
No, she still needed to compete with the males because physically,
or do that, or
because especially 1 year. 1 year is nothing.
Yeah, 1 year is not. Yeah, you could still.
I mean, you're hormones for 1 year,
right?
And you thinking you're blossoming into a woman,
right?
Oh no, dear, you're not.
Yeah, no,
you're still shaving. I worked with a guy who decided to transition years ago, and he told us that he will be using the women's restroom. I told him, it's crazy. Yes, we talked. Did we talk about peeing standing up last week?
Yeah.
Yes. And she was standing up while she pees. We don't know. I'm just playing. But that's like the two a couple of years ago, the two young black trans girls that were running track.
Yeah.
And you could look at them. It's like, yeah, you got a sports bra on, but no, and they were waxing the fuck out of them little girls. I was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? Noxzema Jones to Wong Fu playing basketball. You remember that?
It's Jesse's daughter.
Yeah. Noxzema.
Yeah, that or Joanna Man. Same thing.
Yeah. He was slam dunking, shoulders sitting up there like that. And I'm like, woo.
I'm like, oh, I made a basket. You know, good goddamn well.
Like, yeah, with the size 12. Because that's like looking at what's the young lady, Brittany Grinder. Even at her height, she does not look masculine.
Right. Very true. Let's see. I think we're done.
And I didn't know she had been divorced.
Yeah. She was divorced.
I didn't know all that because they were talking about her ex-wife. I was like, wait a minute, ex. But then I guess she got married again.
All right, I think we're done with that. And just real quick, I guess we'll go.
Yeah, there was nothing else horrifying.
Right.
Fire squad voting. Yeah, the boy voting backlash. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we did everything. It was relatively light.
Yeah.
So
considering.
Yeah, we did it all.
All right.
Okay. You can pat yourself on the back. We didn't miss nobody this week.
Yeah, we didn't miss nobody this time. Yay! So let's get to it.
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
I just have one thing to ask Lynn T. Lynn T, did she leave the seat up?
Not did she leave the seat up.
Woo! Yes, Lord.
Oh my goodness.
That'll tinkle on the seat.
Right. So, who left these droplets on the toilet seat?
So I tell you, sit down. Make them clean the bathroom. They'll change their whole story.
Right. That is just so crazy. But here we are with the segment of the show of Who Said That.
Oh, Lord.
Well, we talk about a lot of things. Now,
Oh Lord,
there's
should
a
I be
lot going
afraid?
on. I've just heard bits and pieces. You got
I've been
people
peeping. I've been
who,
peeping. I haven't been saying anything,
who
and I
used
have been laughing.
yeah, we used to be friends, kind of not friends no more. Just a whole bunch of mess. I don't know. Again, I just feel like, they try to spin this thing that, people can't be friends off here. But I do believe that you can be genuine friends if you're a genuine person. Like, you can be
Yeah.
genuine friends if you're a genuine person. I feel like if you're not genuine, you're not going to have a genuine friendship because there's going to be a part of you always waiting for the shoe to drop, or you're preparing for the shoe to drop or the food to drop or whatever it is.
Mhm.
I don't know. And then two, when you're a messy individual, people are looking for your time in the shine, or the time in the sun, where it's your turn to be talked about or dragged, as they say on here, uh, through some stuff. So, um, I, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's all messy at the end of the day, clearly, but I think people can be genuine friends. You just have to be a genuine person.
Yeah. If it's not in you.
Yeah. And a lot of people, it's not. A lot of people do portray to be friend or friendly
Mhm.
on here, and that's not
Oh
their.
no, and they will change.
Yeah, that's
They will
not.
change. That's the one thing I had to learn about a certain individual that even in their hour of distress, they weren't their genuine selves later on, and when it came out, it's like, well, no, no, Nate, they were always like this.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just that they were in distress at the time
Yeah.
because
Um,
because I look at them like if they were on fire, I wouldn't piss on them.
yeah. I mean, I had to learn that too myself. I mean, I've always been someone who is kind of look for the best in people, or kind of thought the
Oh
best
no, I always
in
look for the
people.
worst. I'm usually
Or yeah,
standoffish because
yeah.
it's like I'm waiting for you, motherfucker. You ain't
Oh
gonna
no, I've always
surprise
been
me.
standoffish, but I've still like, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe this feeling that I kind of feel of hesitancy is
Hmm.
something that I'm just feeling. It's not, something that's real. But yeah, no, you get proven time and time again. Like, no, bitch, you're right.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But I won't let it still deter from actually, you know, seeing some genuine people, because there are some genuine people out there. So I will say that. But yeah, that's really it's really been a mess of things. Just a mess of things. Just a mess of things. Let's see what else. I mean, besides the same old people and things, that was about it. Unless there was something else you wanted to talk about or discuss in that genre of things. I'm over the other people, because it's like these are the same people that have these same characteristics of being the type where they would say things about other people behind, and then when it comes out in the open, you want to boohoo, you want to cry, you want to talk about you know
Hmm.
all these other things that kind of deflect from the fact that you are not a genuine person. You underhand, you are this, you are that. So I mean, I'm at this point, I'm over it. It's like they are who they are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's no sense of us trying to make sense of nonsensical people.
Hmm.
It is what it is. You watch it for the entertainment value, and you spit out the bones.
There's a lot of bones.
Yeah,
A lot of bones.
heavy bones.
Mm-mm-mm.
But that's all you can do. Uh, and maybe some days some people will see the error in their ways, or the things that they've done, and truly change. But all that, I've changed, I'm not the same, yeah, bullshit. Because if you say that, but then you exude the same behavior that you once did, because not everybody's new, and that's the problem that a lot of people seem to forget. Not everybody's new. A lot of
Yeah.
people have seen the bullshit from the beginning. Again, didn't know who the people were, but just watching like normal, like, oh, what's this? And then when you get to know the people, you start putting the pieces together. Oh, like, oh, that's when that happened. That's who that.
Yeah.
Man, you did
Oh,
this.
yes. It's always a puzzle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you put it together. So when you say, oh, I'm a changed person, I don't do that no more, and all this other kind of stuff, and it's just like, yeah, but you said that last time, and you might
Mhm.
up doing it again. So obviously, this is the type of character you possess, which is fine, but just know your shit and stand in it. You know,
Yeah.
stand in it, stand in it. I did see a lot of peculiar movement, though. I will say that there's a lot of people on the other side done got globes behind their names. I'm seeing, and I'm like, I know some people don't like that. So I wonder, what is the plan? Are they there to kind of uh, kick up something? Like, are they? Is there a mole? Remember that show? There used to be a show called The Mole.
The mole.
You had,
Yeah.
yeah, you had to find out who the mole was.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to think: is we playing the mole? Is we playing the game the
Probably
mole?
so. You
Because
know, because
I find it really odd and peculiar. Because I know some zoo animals do not like people hanging around there. So I just was confused. I said, "Oh Lord, what is happening?" Um, and then again, maybe people got their walking papers, and it was just
yeah,
it
that's
is
true.
what it is. So, but just been watching. I said, "Oh, ain't that something?" And
Man,
super
girl.
chat, not that. And once you
What's
super
that?
chat, you
Oh,
have
super chat.
you have put your foot. You have solidified your place. You have put down your flag of where you stand. You don't super chat nobody, and you don't mean it. That's bullshit. But you super chat, trust and believe. I don't care if it was 99 cents. Somebody saw it. It was like, okay,
Mm.
okay, okay. Come around here.
Because they screenshot it.
Right. Come around here. Come around here saying anything. So it's like I would just be careful because either somebody's there to be a mole, which of course they don't seem like they're very yeah, to actually be a well organized
Hmm.
mole to actually
But they're just looking for quick tidbits. That's all.
looking for what?
Quick tidbits.
Yeah, I mean probably so. Probably so. And then something to talk about because of course, it's like, oh look, this person's over here, but I just find it then the circles and the people that these people call their relatives and uncle this and aunt that and all this other
Mm.
kind of bullshit is like, I'm sure your your auntie and uncle did not like you being open, let alone getting a thing behind your name. But whatever, more power to you. I hope
Mm-mm-mm.
it worked out for you. Enjoy. But that was peculiar. And then of course, Phi and Duchess Kelly Love thing going on. I
Mm.
mean, granted, all the f bombs that was being dropped was a bit much, but again, whatever. I thank you. I think so
Yeah.
too. I think so too, Linty. I'll agree with you in that sentiment, and put it up there for everybody to see. All fake as shit. People was trying to make sure they get them checks looking right.
Yeah. Because, like I said, it's been relatively quiet and dry.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah,
I guess they couldn't find any more peen pictures.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, has
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
left? I mean, because goddamn, how many times are you gonna keep hashing the same shit over and over and over again?
That's what I just didn't. It didn't compute to me. Like, why? What was the point in this? Like, what's the point of still bringing this up, bringing that up, bringing this back up, bringing that? I mean, I get it to the sense where a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking to new people and you're kind of setting this image of I'm not this person, giving
Hmm.
them the what's the name, the tricky dick kind of move, like I'm not, I'm a good American. Uh, when you're trying to give them that and they're believing you, but the people that know no, you full of shit, you done so
Hmm.
much shit to people that uh
Yes, and you've left a video trail.
yeah, you right, you literally left a video trail. No matter how you try to keep it under lock and key, either something always happens where you have to then expose it and then kind of explain it away, or somebody just pops it out and plays it. So um, again, just funny to me, just very interesting to watch the tales be turned and kind of moved and no, this didn't happen this way, that happened, and this happened that way, and everybody go and tell their side,
Mhm.
and you're like, well,
Everybody has an episode.
right, there's 3 sides to every story, one person's side, the other person's side, and in the middle there is the truth. You kind of take the pieces and kind of put them together as you will, but it's different when you watched it from the beginning. A lot
Yeah.
of people haven't, so they get to kind of hear both sides and kind of take the part of the person that they kind of, I guess, turn towards more as popularity will be. But those of us who's been there from the very beginning and just didn't know you motherfuckers and know who you really were like that
Mhm.
knows that I've seen it all. I was watching, didn't know what the fuck I was watching.
Yeah,
But I
that's the
was
whole thing.
watching.
You don't know what you're watching,
Yeah, you was just
but
watching it like, oh, okay, they out
but
here.
you'll get a piece of a puzzle over
Yeah, that's
here, and then
right.
you'll get a piece of a puzzle over there, and it's like,
And then
oh,
you like
okay,
you
now I'm
see it
getting the
again,
whole
like
story.
as I'm watching it again, like when people were playing it on their channels and stuff like that, or talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. What
Mhm.
was I doing then? Oh yeah, I was in the airport just looking for something to watch,
Something to watch.
and just looking like, oh, that looked like fun. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that on there though, but it looks like fun to do. Like,
I
go,
remember the worst thing when I first started watching this whole YouTube stuff
uh,
was was the Scorpion show and the King of Reeds
right,
when they were going back and forth about
back,
the blackout.
yeah,
And that was like the most thing, and that was
yeah.
it. It's nowhere, it's light years from
No,
all this bullshit. They
no, and
showing
they
vaginas and
it
penises and
nowhere
just
near
all
it.
sorts of dried up,
Yeah,
unfruitful things.
just a craziness. Uh, yeah, that even before the blackout, I was watching uh, King of Reeds, and everybody really just again didn't know who people were, just watching. And then
Yeah,
when
because
they did the
weren't
blackout,
even
I was like, "Oh
weren't
my
even
gosh, that looked
sectors.
like so much fun! I want to go next year. Like if they have it again, I want to go next year." And then that
Hmm.
whole drama happened
Yeah.
with that, and it
But
was
were they even sectors then? I don't even think they were
no,
even sectors then.
no, no.
Because you
That's
were
what I'm
just
saying.
pretty
They
much
said, "Oh, there's
because
such a
even what they would suggest to you was different. It was just a mishmash of everything.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was mainly like if you started watching black YouTubers, they were mainly still black YouTubers.
Hmm.
Uh,
But you
'Cause
had
I
to
used to watch this older lady. She doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. Oh, what was her name? Something Michelle. Oh gosh, she was an older lady. Uh, and she would give like entertainment news or whatever, whatever. Uh,
mhm.
she was good. I liked her. I would watch her all the time. I would watch at the time he was Jacob Kahino. I would watch him. I'd watch
Yeah.
all people.
What happened to him or her?
Well, she is now Jessica,
Hmm.
or I think is it Jessica still?
Jessica Heinor, yeah.
Um, I just can't do. I don't.
Hmm.
It just I can't do it with
I
the
couldn't
voice.
hear you.
No, I just said I can't do it with the voice. I just didn't want to. I didn't
Uh,
want to be all loud.
yeah,
It's
that
just, what did you?
her transition was really quick, and I thought it was just for YouTube. That's what I thought it was at first,
Yeah,
and
I don't know what I can't. I don't know. I don't know. At first, I did because it was like a lot of plastic stuff going on, like a lot of like drag queen type wearing stuff,
mhm,
breastplate and all that stuff. I was
yeah,
like, okay, well, maybe you're doing this for Gossip Girl now. Okay, like
okay,
maybe this is for whatever. Because a lot of times, the funny thing that I found weird about the that portion before the transition, it was a lot. He would have interviews with a lot of trans women and be
hmm,
dogging them out.
yeah. That's why I thought it
So then I
was
didn't
like a skit or
understand.
something,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
was kind of like, well, are you doing this for T? Like, are you doing this for popularity, or what was going on here? Because there was plenty of almost fights in his interviews with some
Mm,
trans women that he was interviewing, asking a lot of the questions he was asking that were somewhat, questionable
yeah,
in that regard. But Gossip Girl, yeah, I don't know. It just be the stories with I guess the animation and the voice and everything that I can't.
hmm.
I just a couple minutes, and I'll be like, okay, I'm over.
I wasn't even,
But yeah,
it
but
was a
a
bit
lot of
much.
people, like I said, I've always watched. So it's interesting to hear the stories, and then you get like, well, it's not
It
quite
was
how
confusing.
I recall it happening, but okay. Yeah, I was shipping too. Very confusing. Yes, it was very confusing. But um, even now, to everybody, even with the Brianna and Kimmy and all those kind of things going on, Pizarro, uh, and hear everybody's little bits and pieces, and you're like wow. And it's sad that you can't have people that you just trust to, kind of be yourself with, and even though we may not talk, things don't come out, and that shows the level of maturity of people, that although we may not speak again or we may have a disagreement, I'm not going to go back and now, because I know people may know that I know some things about you, spill the beans on everything I know.
Yeah, you just
Real messed up.
you just regurgitate
Yeah,
everything.
everything. Um, which I think that part is whatever, but of course when people are hurt, they do certain
Yeah.
things. So I can't knock that either.
But then too, you don't tell all your business.
Right.
You
You
know,
just keep some
there's
stuff
some
to yourself.
things that nobody knows, not even God. I
Right.
don't tell
Right.
everybody.
Exactly. So it's like, granted, there are some things that, of course, if you saw me, you would know, and that's a given. So there was no hiding on that. But it was like, well, okay, you had to go run to tell that. Okay, now you feel good because you because you was about to be banished or even allowing people in.
With a bus pass, yeah,
Right. You
yeah.
had to
Don't give
hurry
up your bus pass, girl. You ain't getting that shit back.
up. You better make sure you have an extra.
Or some
So
change.
I don't know, but hopefully all this gets because it's springing again. So hopefully all this dies down and there's something else to talk about.
Oh yeah, then you have to look at that too because now it's getting warm,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go outside and breathe some breathe some polluted air
Yeah,
before it's
right.
irradiated. So you better go out there and enjoy some sunshine. I
Mm-hmm.
understand why they have this
What I
entertain
don't
because they
understand.
run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, it does
They
get
will,
really,
but
it
you know
does
what
get
was
really
real
personal.
strange?
Mhm.
I they used to really put on the shows.
Yeah, they really did. Even
With
if they were,
with the characters
yeah,
and
even if they
things that
were
they did.
arguing with one another, they would still
hmm
do it in a entertaining way.
Entertaining
It
way.
was never like real low down malicious. Even if it was like cracking jokes, they crack the jokes, do their video, and then the person would come back and crack their jokes and do their video, and that was it. This has become very much, I'm gonna try and dismantle you the best way I can if they think they can, and that's the problem. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are not, strong enough to kind of handle
Yeah.
that type of picking, teasing, or whatever. Uh,
That was
but I
like you made me forget what I was getting ready to say. Um,
I don't know. I just find it's crazy to me the level that people go. But again, that again shows the difference in the person. When they don't have nothing, they go for anything. They go for what they think will hurt you the most. And
yeah,
you know, the
because
biggest thing is when they do that or make that shot and then they lose. And then you're like, well, you did that for nothing, stupid ass.
but then too, this StreamYard is a game changer.
Right.
Because remember, they used to just have to
Right.
constantly
You
do
have
the
to do
uploads.
recording.
So
Yeah.
it's like a call and response type
Yeah.
of thing. So and so said this. Well, let me go, and I can take the time to actually sit down and think out what it is
What I'm
my
gonna say,
response.
and yeah. Now it's just I just come here and just spew all types of stuff, and then tell me I'm lying, and it's like, but you are lying. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but people are not going to tell you that because they don't want to get the wrath of whatever it is that you claim to be. There are a lot of self-proclaimed, and I blame a lot of YouTubers, subscribers, as well as content creators for plowing at least people's heads up to make them think that they're bigger than who they really are.
Yeah, that's
You
true too.
don't hear with a sense of
But
like,
you always have that, even in real life. You always
you're not
have
going to check me.
the
It's like, but
followers
you are right. No, you're
that
not
pump
telling
them
the
up.
truth. You're not telling the truth. Just be genuine and
Because
tell
that
the
way you
truth.
get the entertainment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That way you get the entertainment. Then you just go, I am entertainment, or that's entertainment. No, that's not entertainment. It's not entertainment at all. Um, it's not. It's not. Going after people and digging up people's dead relatives, or
Yeah, no.
swearing stuff on people's dead relatives, or making or telling them to, dig them up and swirl them around, but nobody can say nothing about your dead ass, relative.
Oh no, that's like today. I was watching Melissa. She was on live, and I nodded out. And you know how it goes right to like the next video or
Right,
whatever.
right, right.
And the next video popped up, and she was fussing about something,
Right.
and I thought it was the same video.
Very
So
true.
she's fussing about something, and then you talk about somebody calling CPS or somebody else, and then I got instantly hot because I was like, "What? What did all this shit?"
Yeah, but they
No,
always do that.
and they do
That is
they
the
do that
go-to.
shit.
That is the go-to. The CPS, the calling the people, the calling anybody if they know that the person's on some kind of assistance anywhere, calling that. That is
Yeah.
the go-to, which is at the end of the day, it's sad. It's sad that you even have to do that. It's
Yes,
that like
you should be able to learn restraint enough. It's
right.
not necessary that you
That's not
reach
even
into
necessary.
real life.
Right. That's not even necessary. We're here virtually. Why would you need to reach
Crossing the
into
virtual
someone's real
line.
life and pull out things and pull out information? What does that do? Where does the entertainment come in that? Because your feelings was hurt because of what somebody said about you personally, about how you are, or how you present yourself, excuse me, or how you just how you are as they see you. It's really funny. Like, what, nobody can speak on other people. That's what we all do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do. You give commentary, whether it's about beauty and makeup or this, that, and the other. You're still watching other things and you're giving your commentary on different things. So, trust and believe, everybody's up for some sort of commentary. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
believe it or not, your opinion does count. They want to hear your view.
Right.
It could be everybody could talk about the same two things.
This is what I'm saying. So when people even talk about like dead wolf pussy over there, always talking about some views or nobody's looking at your views, but people just
No,
come
but
to
that's mental illness in a can. Okay.
but people just come to hear what people have to say. I don't care if I have 10 people in here or 5 people in here. Those 5, 10, 12, 13, 14 people just want to hear what I have to say, my opinion on anything that they may be wondering. And that's fine. It's the people who, you got to have numbers. If you don't have numbers, you ain't popping. Who said so? Who said so? Because it's called replay, gang, bitch. It's called replay. It's not, this live actual thing is cool, but the real test is your replay. People actually are watching and say, hey, sorry I missed it, or great show, or, replay gang, or whatever they do. That's when you know that people are really paying attention and listening to what you have to say. Granted, we don't always have to agree on everything. That's what it's for. We can
So the
agree.
fact is that they take for granted that people are just going to drop what they're doing in their lives
or them, right? Or
to
them.
chime in when
Yeah.
you're all over the damn time zone.
Everywhere. Everywhere. So it really, it's funny. Yeah, always. And it's like, don't get me wrong. If I feel the need to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, I'll tangle with you today, then I do. But again, it's about quality. It's about making sure that you get a message out there. Everything ain't for the shits and giggles. You have people who are here for the shits and the giggles and the mess, and will let you know it and bring it out and whatever. And perfectly fine. That's their thing. But everybody's not like that. So please don't make this out to be because we're all here. We all should be for the shits and the giggles. No, everybody's not all the time. You gotta have a balance. That's what life is. A balance.
Yes, and know when to pull back.
Yeah,
That's like when Lynn T said said she had to drop out a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I understand.
yeah, because things.
Because you have to pull it back sometimes. Because sometimes this shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's over and over. And
Actually, a lot of times this shit is
it's ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. Makes no
That's why
sense.
it pays just to not to react to everything that you
Yeah,
hear.
yeah. And right, time and life is precious. And why
Mhm.
waste time on bullshit?
I tell you, you better get some of that sunshine.
Yeah.
You never know, be locked down again next week.
Right. Right.
Shit.
So
Definitely.
it's very important
Mhm.
that we do that. We take the time to just kind of woosah. It ain't all about the rah rah rah. And speaking of which, of course, movie check or show check. What did I watch? Started watching Snowfall, the new season. That was good. Mama's about to handle her business because y'all killed her man.
Yeah.
She about to kill that man. She ain't playing no games. She don't.
Because anytime she's not letting anybody know
Yeah.
what she's doing.
Yeah. Or when she goes from like happy face to that whole like,
And
she
that scowl.
kind of goes into the shadows. It's like, yeah, I'm about to get that man. He think he's smooth sailing. I'm about to pip him at his ankles. But that I've watched. I still haven't watched What You Call It, and I did watch The From. So yeah.
Okay, you saw the last episode?
Yes.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was surprised. I wanted to look for it. Like I said, I wanted to look for it on Xfinity,
Right.
and it's on the computer first on demand.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's not even because I looked for it there too because I was like, oh, might as well. But I didn't. Oh, you're watching Summer of Soul on Hulu? Okay.
Yeah, I saw that with when they had that festival up in New York with
Okay, I gotta check it out.
Gladys Knight and the Pips, and I think Mahalia Jackson.
Okay. I've seen the
Did that win?
commercial.
Did that win an award? Because I know it was up for an award, or it's coming up for an award or something. Maybe an Oscar or something like
I'm
that
not
for maybe
sure.
best documentary.
Not sure. I wouldn't be surprised. I think
Yeah, the
they
Fifth
did some, like,
Dimension, all these soul and blues groups and things like that they had up there.
Yeah, I know it was on the list.
Hey, Patty, I remember a lot of them dances in them clothes.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah, I sure do. Them bell bottom, hard bottom shoes, boy. You out there dancing. Everybody had soul.
I don't understand with the tight clothes that people be complaining about people wearing now.
Oh, you know what? That's why it doesn't shock me when I would see guys wear skinny jeans.
Yeah, because I'm
I
like,
mean, because and the midriff,
the
tied up shirts, with your belly out,
yeah,
and all that, and it's like, wow, it looks good on the, guys wear it look all right. And I said, yeah, but look better on the girl. But back then the clothes were more unisex. The bell bottoms, tight belt. I mean, tight. You ain't even got fart space. Okay.
Yeah, fart bubbles a good thing. Yeah,
and platform shoes. The colors, the patterns was all different patterns. It was just as flamboyant as it is now.
Right. Yeah, that's what that
and
was.
These were your daddies and your granddaddies.
Right.
And these were big ass motherfuckers because they had these big ass hands. I work on transmission hands. You've seen those where one
and I was looking all side eye like, okay.
Pants be all tight. Y'all happy about gray sweatpants season.
Right. all the
time.
Yeah, gray sweatpants season, yeah, corduroy season, yeah.
Everything was tight. I'm surprised. And and you know what? You used to rip a lot of yes, that's true, because that's birth control right there. Those nuts heat up, and them because they don't get to swing and drop around. I loved baggy clothes when you went through that. We went through that baggy clothes, baggy pants. I loved that shit. It was so comfortable. It was like being in a robe. It's just real loose and whatever, and you had like a couple of layers. But god damn, yeah, but yeah, hip huggers. and all that kind of stuff. I remember I had a lime green suit for Easter.
Not lime green.
Lime green, like almost like that fluorescent green.
Wow.
With velvet. You couldn't tell me.
Velvet?
Yeah, it was
What
like
is it? Velvet?
velveteen.
He had the little ruffles on his shirt.
And had heels. And they were comfortable as shit. Was no corns on these toes because they had them bubble round tips. They were comfortable as hell.
Oh
shit! I got an extra 2 inches of height out of them goddamn. Guys, you couldn't tell me shit. I look good as shit, like a pimp. I was looking good.
You was pimping on Easter Sunday?
I was pimping on Easter Sunday and went to church looking like a pimp. And you couldn't tell me shit because my mama bought me my lime green suit.
That's crazy.
Love that shit.
Well,
and had an afro.
Oh yeah, afro I had, but no lime green suits.
And see, it was real funny. We didn't have cornrows then. We would get it. We would get our hair plaited, but you couldn't go off the porch looking like that as a guy.
You had to take your hair out. Yeah.
You know, I have you walking up and down the street looking like no little pickaninny.
Yeah, that was always the line.
And when I would go to get my hair plaited, don't you be sitting between that girl's legs? I'm like, why? She washed. Sheesh, I'm just getting my hair plaited. Yeah, knickerbockers. Or what do they call them? Remember window panes? When they were the wide leg pants. Window panes like a checker, but it was like a stitch that was like 3D. You could actually feel it.
No.
Yeah, girl. You know what? Get your hair plaited, pick out your afro, or get it blown out. Or if you were really pressed for time, get the hot comb and pray they don't burn your fucking ears.
Just the guy.
Yeah, gauchos. Oh shit!
Stop moving. She wasn't moving. You just burnt her.
Oh yeah. Well, light you. Don't you move. Don't you move.
You just burnt her.
Hot enough not to straighten it, but hot enough to blow it out. And then what happened is you go outside and the wind blows and it blows apart in your head.
That's crazy. Good question.
Yeah, window panes. I remember all this. Oh my god.
I don't know what a window pane is, but okay. That's before my time.
Huh?
But
you'd wear plaid pants, and they were all tight in the hips. I never had problems until I started wearing normal clothes. But they would, because my thighs were bigger than my waist size, and it was always awkward. That's when they were called huskies.
Yeah, that's what I said. Huskies. Yep, but that was the problem with me. Like I'm slender, I'm tall, so everything would be like short, and it'd be like, well, what? Oh, this sucks. Well, thank God my grandmother is a seamstress, so she would take the arms out of stuff and stretch it. So I'd be like, I'm not husky, and I'm not tall enough. At that point, I wasn't tall enough to be like super tall, but it was like
because everybody's not built the same that they were making the clothes. Because you would always
like short, round people, and it was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, because you would buy pants and they wouldn't be hemmed. You'd have to have them hemmed.
Yeah, yeah, my grandmother would do that.
Yep, Stacey Adams. I remember this store we used to go to called Cookies down here, and I love fucking Cookies. Oh my god, I had my first snakeskin pair of shoes. I love Cookies. It was great. Oh man,
that's crazy.
Those were the days. Was the days. Then you were old enough to go clubbing. Oh man, it was great.
I was scared to hang out with my older cousins because they all got drunk and crazy, and they always made somebody do something. So I was like, when I get older, I'm not getting drunk around them. Yeah, somebody always was eating dog food or eating a dog snack or eating something that ain't nobody telling them.
Were they that high?
They was just sitting there drunk shit, and they were just like, oh, this is good. And they'd be like,
They didn't even
And then they'd be like, you just ate the dog food. No.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn
Well,
did.
whatever.
And it'd be like stories for hours. Like, nah, I ain't never. When I was younger, I was like, I ain't never getting drunk again, ever in life. I was like, I stuck to that. Or if I did have a drink, it was like one drink. I was like, okay, I'm good. Don't have another. I know how y'all do. No way.
Mm,
Um,
crazy. Lynn, what'd you say? You were tender-headed? Yep, me too.
and,
Mm-mm-mm.
my mother braided my hair when I was younger, but then she stopped and cut that mess off.
No, when I when I got when I had grown out my locks and stuff,
Mm,
oh, that was the best thing. But the hardest part was um not cutting it off. I was so used to getting haircuts, keeping my hands
yeah,
out
me
of it.
too. Yeah, that was very. Speaking of which, I do have somebody asked me to do a interview or a panel about hair, black hair,
Hmm.
and how it is being in the workplace and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was very interesting. So
Yeah,
be on the lookout for that. I will be putting that in my, of course, my stuff. But um,
yeah,
yeah,
especially with this Crown Act that just passed.
yeah, that was right. That too. That was very. It was a humbling thing for me because I was always one that every other week I was getting a haircut or a shape up or something to
It
make.
was it was like an addiction. It's like once it grew a certain length, and it's like I can't do it. I have to cut it. I have to get a
Mhm.
haircut. I have to get a
Yeah,
haircut
yeah,
for the longest time. Then I became patient enough to
right.
actually
To let it grow. Yeah,
not to just let it grow, and it's just going to be what it is. And then I had gotten the twist, and then I went to this damn girl, and I just have this thing about wasting my time.
hmm.
Don't be late if I'm paying you,
Oh,
because I went to the loctician,
okay.
and I went there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting there a whole hour.
Wow.
And I was like, "Bitch, I'm gonna watch you do this shit because I'm not coming back to you no more." And I never once I watched her do it the last
Mhm.
time, I never went back. And I did my wife's hair
Oh,
because she was a carrier and
okay.
would be out there in the heat, and she would go to the hairdresser get her hair done, and it's like shit. By the end of the week, she sweated it
You
all out.
put it out. Yeah.
So, and she still has hers.
Oh, okay.
Because she don't need nothing with no rollers, no nothing. She could never do do the wigs and lace fronts and all the rest of
Right.
that kind of stuff. That's, she couldn't do that. She's just too lazy. So it definitely works for her. Low maintenance.
Right.
Well, it's not low maintenance, but
No,
it's
it's not.
but
But
it's you don't have to go to someone else to have it maintained and maintenance. But I loved when I had my locks. Oh, it was great. Then when they got real long,
Mhm.
and I always end up sitting on them, and then I would go running, and
Mhm.
just the weight of them was just so heavy, and it would just it would break the skin in
Oh,
my head because I had to put it up, especially
oh,
if when I went to work, I'd have to
mhm.
put it up because I didn't want to get it caught in the machinery.
Right.
So I had one of those dread dread socks.
Yeah. Okay.
It's real big,
Big, yeah.
long one, and I
Mhm.
wrap it up, put it in there, pull it real tight, take about 10 years off, eyes be all chingy,
Facelift.
get an instant facelift and
Yeah.
everything. It was great. And I never had any issues with anybody as far as
Yeah. I
having it done,
really
except for one black girl. She's like, "Oh, don't let them get nasty." What do you mean let them get nasty?
right.
Get the fuck
The
out of my
only,
face.
and that's funny. I didn't have any experiences uh in the corporate world too much,
Mhm.
more than I've had at home, like around my own people,
People,
family.
yeah, I
And
had, I guess
yeah,
because they feel as though they could say something to you because you're family.
yeah,
Where in corporate, because like I said, I always wore mine up or braided up in a fishtail or something like that.
yeah.
Um, and I was evil looking when the job. They weren't going to say too much to me anyway, as far as that goes.
I'm not
So
fucking
I
with you.
didn't play with those
Right.
people.
I'm not fucking with you.
Yeah, not, mm-mm. and especially not nothing like that because they know I read the dress code and what you could
Right. Yeah,
do and
me
what you
too. I was
couldn't
going to be
do.
like, that was nowhere in none of the articles. So
Hmm.
no, but it's now I don't see it. So yeah, so you're gonna draft up a whole new handbook? Okay,
Yeah.
well
Oh
when you
yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
yeah, let me
Yeah.
know.
When I worked in retail, when the young ladies were dyeing, when they first started dyeing their hair, the colors
Mm-hmm.
like the chicken head red
Right.
and the
Yeah,
well, the burgundy.
right.
When it was burgundy and it was like a army looking green and a blue, and they were just starting to wear box braids,
Mm-hmm.
and you would go interview new employees, and they would say, well, no, I don't like her hairstyle. It's like, well, what
Right.
does it have to do with it? What's this? And they would say, well, see here, it says it has to be a natural color. And I would always say, well, so and so's not a blonde.
Right. Right.
You know she's not a blonde.
You
That's
know
not
she
her
has mom
natural
when
hair
you
color.
get some dark ass roots. So
Hmm.
like he's even talking about
Yeah,
natural.
carpet does not match cuff. Okay.
Right. Pepper does not match the drapes. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
box braids are not unprofessional. It's
right.
just that they are who they are.
Right.
Because I tell you one thing, the motherfuckers go to Jamaica, all them white girls sitting there,
Yeah. Thinking they Bo Derek and shit.
uh-huh, thinking they thinking they're the ones that invented this shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-mm.
But that also, in closing out, of course, brings up that high school student that they said can't even walk. The high school or college that he can walk. It was a Christian school. I
Oh
don't know if it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
university or,
He has a petition
but yeah,
because
there's
he
a
has
petition out to allow him to walk through his
because it's like
graduation.
every year you have one.
Right, because the school says it goes against the code. Um, However, I'm just like, you ain't asking them white boys to cut their hair and make sure their hair is
Hmm.
maintained and stuff. Because I've been to plenty of graduations, even in some, and seen like, did you just roll out of bed and forget today was graduation? Like,
Yeah, that's pretty much every day when they go to school.
that's true.
That all your goddamn clothes all wrinkled up
That too.
and everything. You look a hot ass mess. Hey
Right.
Tanari,
Hey,
how you
tonight.
doing, girl?
But that's not, never asked of them. So I find that to be a bit funny. But to deny
Mhm.
someone talking about something, oh, we'll happily mail you your stuff to.
Mhm.
It was like, what are we doing here? Like, you really just telling people what they cannot do.
Mhm.
And again, we always being told what we cannot do, or what we shouldn't do, what we shouldn't wear to conform to their things and their
That's
society.
right. Their standards of beauty.
Right, their standards of beauty, their standards. Uh, we need to start standing up and having our own standards. And it even goes for our black church. Because I know when I started growing my hair, pastor would have a lot to say about
The
how
pastor?
professional, how it was
Wow.
unprofessional, and all that stuff. Not to me, but he would just say it to the congregation, like
To
he
the
didn't want
congregation.
children to do
Fuck
it.
you, pastor.
Right, because it was unprofessional. And I was just like,
You can catch this. You can catch
that's
this heat
that's
too.
a mindset, a European mindset of how
That's
you
right.
think
Uh-huh.
success does. It's with anything. If you
Now,
maintain
did you have
people,
problems when you pierced your ears?
no, not just from my mama. Just from my mama.
No, my father says something.
And then they would just be like, "Oh, you
Oh,
can't have piercings." Uh, but it'd be like, once I seen the white boy with them big old gacho, like
yeah, the plugs.
knobs in his
Yeah.
whole ear loop, I totally didn't pay no attention. I mean, maybe the first, maybe like interview day, I may have, and they'd be like, "Oh, no piercings, okay." And first day of training, and I looked and see the
He
whole
said,
thing.
mhm.
I'm like, and I'm just going about my business. And,
Yeah, because like I said, they never said anything to me, and that's when I had one ear pierced, and then I pierced the other one because that's when you couldn't buy separates.
yeah, you couldn't buy separate. Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
buy separates. Like, yeah, shit, I got this other ear. What the hell? Let me pierce the
Little
no one.
cages
I
and shit
had
in
two holes in one ear, and then I was like, no, I don't
Mhm.
like that shit. Let that shit close. Then
Yeah.
I pierced the other one myself, and then
Oh,
I started gauging them because
oh,
these are a two gauge because I didn't want them too big because
okay.
yeah. I didn't want them too big because as you get older, your skin loses its
Yeah.
elasticity, and I might have to gauge up to keep them snug. But I never wanted the real big ones because, you know, today or tomorrow, I said, I don't want to wear this shit no more. I have to go and have it surgically done. Let me see. And my family like that now.
Like that now.
Pass up when I pick. Yeah. I mean, and pierce my nose and had my navel pierced and had my nipples done and all that other stuff. And everybody's like, what? Because that's when they weren't doing them.
Yeah. No, my dad took me to get my ears pierced, and I didn't know. Well, I knew my mom said no, but I figured when he was like, "Come on, let's go," that they talked about it. I was sadly mistaken. Nope, they didn't talk about it. Then she let me keep it that day. The next day,
just take it out.
No, my grandmother opened her door. Her door was right by the bathroom, and she was like, "Come here, help me with something."
Come here, baby. Come here, baby.
Like straight out the bathroom. Like I brushed my teeth. I was just like, she's like, "Help me with something when you finish." I was like, "Okay." So I went in her room. My mother was behind the door, closed the door. My grandmother had me on her lap, holding me down. My mother just yanked it out of my ear. You talking about pain? I was like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't want to get piercings or anything like that for a minute. But that hurt.
Yeah. Hey, AR, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Jen, how you doing? Yeah, piercings. I couldn't wait.
I have a lot of them now, but yeah,
because I think when I started getting piercings, I was getting out of my phase of trying to conform. And tattoos, because when I got my tattoo, you did not see many Black people that had tattoos.
Right.
So when I started modifying myself, and shit, when my wife started modifying herself, then the kids wanted like, no, you gotta wait. And I had the nerve to have attitude when my daughter wanted a tattoo, and I was like, no. I said, because I was a certain age when I got mine done. I wasn't a teenager. I said, because you change your mind. I was much older.
No, we had to be 18 thanks to my brother.
Down here you had to be 18, but you could get it done younger with your parent. Your parent had to be with you.
Right.
And tattoos, the same thing. The piercings weren't too bad. I took my son to get his nose done. I said, boy, it's gonna make a tear come to your eye. It was like that lonely Indian standing up on the mountain. That one little tear rolled on their face. That was like the most painful piercing. All the rest weren't anything.
Yeah, right. My nipple piercings hurt.
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. The only problem I had with it wasn't pain, was just like my nipples and my navel. My navel just started migrating out.
No, I don't want to do navel. I'm scared.
So I just took them out and let them close. I guess I moved around too much.
But all right, guys, it's about that time.
It's past your time.
It is. I hope you guys have enjoyed this extra long 19 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to ask you about your boy Jesse. You make it quick.
I mean, with all the atrocities that the others have done, meaning white folks, crackers, and all that mess, I think that there was a harsher sentence on him. Did he lie? Yes. Have a lot of them lied and have gotten away with their lying bullshit, like that old lady that lied on Emmett Till? Yes. The sentence was far to the left. Yeah, there should have been some sort of punishment, I guess, some sort of repercussion, but jail and all that time is ridiculous. I think they're just trying to make themselves feel better about all that. I just think that was ridiculous.
I think he would just would have copped to it. Yeah, I did it. He'd have went on about his business, but he kept going for that. What is it?
I don't necessarily think so. I think once it happened, honestly, truly, I think once it happened, he may have. But I think the treatment that he got from the police upon all of it made him keep going to push like.
Well, you know, that wasn't even any good acting. That was terrible acting. And even when he
No,
was
yeah, that's.
even when he was
I
in
mean,
the
I agree. I do agree. I do agree. I think the acting was horrible, but a part of me definitely believes that he would have just copped to it and been like whatever. But I think it was the treatment of the police. I think the police treated him in such a way that he was just like he wanted a way to kind of uh, get revenge on their treatment. And we don't know what treatment they did or how they treated him, but I'm
no, they
pretty
were
sure.
mad because he had them out there in that 2-degree weather in the
But,
wintertime
but I
looking
mean,
for looking for that.
even past that, I don't think. I think that they really, um, although they was out there in, God knows the coldest winter day night ever in Chicago, uh, one of the worst. That the way they treated him because they knew he was a star, they knew he was a celebrity, and
Yeah, he
I'm
got the
sure
yeah,
they
he got the star
dismissed
treatment.
him on break, and he just was not there for how they treated him. So he wanted to make an example, and they wound up utilizing that and trying to make an example out of him. Now, uh, granted, the Chicago Police Department itself had a lot to make up for. They killed a 13-year-old boy. They, you know, got a woman naked standing in her house. They in the wrong apartment. All types of shit that the Chicago police done did and fucked up on. So they needed to make some sort of an example out of somebody to show that they were doing, their due diligence as police officers. So
Well,
I just think it's a bunch of bullshit.
I bet you he just went on ahead and had a Nigerian instead of a Subway sub. Okay, on that note.
Yeah. I think he might have had both. I think he personally had both. I think the Nigerians, because they are Nigerians, and the culture is different, and the acceptance of being LGBT or even curious about it is kind of
Yeah.
unheard of.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
that would disappoint his family, their
Oh
family,
yeah.
their
And
parents, grandparents, and
they
all types
really in the
of stuff.
family. And
That right,
they
that
and
they
but I bet you one thing. I bet you those boys' parents weren't here in the States. They were
right,
back home. They were back
right.
home in Nigeria.
Right. That even if it was just one of them who was curious and not the other one, it was just they needed to make sure they copped out so it wouldn't get too bad. But at the end of the day, yeah, people have lied. People have lied, and many people have paid the price for people's lives, and nothing has happened. So to again make him the example and lay all of those burdens and atrocities on him, and to put him in a place where he could be in danger, because we already know that police, there are some
I thought
police
he was in
officers
protective
who are
custody.
inclined to,
I thought he was in protective custody
From what I heard, he wasn't.
in the psych ward.
From what I heard, they were putting him in one of the worst prisons
Mhm.
there. And then they talk about putting him in the psych ward and having on the watch, but do we really know if that's what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like they say one thing and they can do another. So, we necessarily don't know. But again, do I think all that warranted that? No. Because if that's the case, drag that 80 some odd year old woman that lied about Emmett Till, drag her ass and put her ass in jail too. If you ain't gonna drag her ass and put her ass in jail, then don't talk to me about nobody telling a lie about somebody uh, attacking them and it wasn't an attack.
Mhm.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. All righty.
Isn't he out now? I don't know. Is he?
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, is he? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And his brother was making some big deal saying that the black community didn't support him or whatever. It's because we knew your motherfucking ass was lying. I knew you were lying.
Yeah, I
God
mean,
damn.
2 o'clock in the two. First of all, 2 o'clock in the
2 o'clock in
fucking
the
morning,
morning.
like that's obvious. Ain't
First thing I said,
nobody.
2 o'clock in the morning was not for no subway run. That was for
It was
ass
for a Subway run, but it wasn't that type of Subway. It
run.
was for some meat in a sandwich.
He probably asked for double stuff.
It was meat in a sandwich, I tell you that.
Mhm.
But it wasn't the type of lettuce and tomatoes.
But it just sounded fishy. And then he's like, I'm the black Tupac and all the rest of that other shit. I was like, motherfucker, please.
Where? No. I mean, and
Man,
then at the time, like people say, at a certain time, ain't nothing open but legs.
nothing but
Like
legs.
nothing but
Nothing.
legs. Nothing but legs. Ain't
Nothing.
nobody worried about, you
And
know.
at minus 16 degrees, legs wasn't even open.
Who's going out there?
Uh-huh.
We all know them people do a lot of crazy shit, like wearing shorts in dead of winter and flip flops and all that type of shit when you know it's cold as hell. But even they wouldn't be out there at that
Wasn't a
time
soul out there. But then
talking about no.
they had enough cameras where they followed him doing the dry run.
Right, right,
When they
right.
have you doing all of that, just cop to say, yeah,
This is what
I
I'm
was
saying.
trying.
But
Yeah,
first of all, he had to know. I mean, it was just like the lack of knowledge for me to even put out that line. Like, first of all, you're in an upscale area neighborhood, so there's
mm-hmm.
cameras everywhere. They're not playing those games anymore. And you go to places even like New York, Times Square.
Especially when Trump was in
This is
office
what I'm
and all this
saying.
shit was at its height.
That's it. That's it. So they're watching everything. So all the major cities, uh, in areas where they know their people gonna be, they watching. They making sure that either Osama bin Laden or Romeo and Jerome and them, y'all not coming nowhere over here because if y'all come over here, we gonna get you. Like, just plain and simple. Sorry, but not sorry. So they make sure. So I didn't get that even with the whole story. It was like, but you live in an area where in which there's cameras. If somebody robs somebody in that area, they're finding them within 24 hours. Period. Point blank.
You
That's
have
too much
cameras. You
money.
have cameras on the street, cameras in the
Yeah,
store,
that's
especially
too much money.
the
You
open
can't
edit.
act like that wasn't gonna happen. Like
Mm-hmm.
that they wasn't gonna find that out. And especially when they had heat on them already because of the stuff that they've already done.
Mm-hmm.
As a unit. So they needed to have a moment of, yeah, we got them. Look, we do our job. We're not all scumbags. So and he shit on that by lying. So then it made them look even worse. So at that point, they were all pissed at him because they was looking to him to be their shining moment of showing that they care not only about black men but about black LGBT men and about the community at large. All these things that they were going to hang their hat on if this shit was real. Trust and believe it. Believe me when I tell you, they were going to hang their hat on a whole bunch of shit.
Somebody's gonna be hanging on something, but
that's what I said. They was gonna have him all around the city promoting shit. They was gonna do this whole.
some of them Nigerians gonna have him hanging.
He fucked it up. They was mad.
He should just went for it. Just went for that. Just call it day. Well, where he got all of a sudden that he was a civil rights whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. All that was just all that again was just to pump it up because at this point again he was doing Natasha K. You lose and then all of a sudden you're the Malcolm X.
The show getting ready to go off air too.
Or the X of the group, possibly.
During that time.
Possibly.
But still,
again,
he could have worked on his music
even
career.
You won't even conform to what the judges ask you to do. So now it's like if you lose, you're gonna lose it out of defiance. So you want to lose everything?
He's a whole bunch of crazy. But his brother doesn't help him none either. It's like, look, your brother fucked up.
Yeah. Well, that's that whole. I'll stand by you as a friend, an open person, an open court. We rock out, closed doors. So motherfucker, why are you?
Yeah. My brother would do that shit for me. He's like, motherfucker, you fucked up.
Brother, like
what
you
the
on
hell
your
are
own.
You thinking about?
You on your own with this one.
You on your own, my nigga.
Right. He's like, you on your own. He was like, I'll see you some commissary, man.
Yeah, let me know how much you need.
Yeah, right. My brother would definitely be like, you on your own, bro. So I don't, I don't get it, but hopefully this, works out for him. I'm sad to say that it's made, hopefully he didn't hang his acting career up on this because this might have ruined. This might have
he wasn't acting. He was terrible.
No.
I just don't want his sister. His sister's really good.
Yeah, and I don't want that to happen, no offense, but it's the same thing almost like that happened with Janet. That when Michael went through that whole molestation thing, they hung Janet out with that. And I think that's why that whole Super Bowl thing happened. I don't care what nobody say. Justin Timberlake did that shit on purpose, And ain't nobody hang out Justin Timberlake's ass to dry. They hung out.
Oh no, she'd have went over there. If she'd had a black out there, it wouldn't even have gone down like that.
So
Because they both would have taken a fall.
right.
If the other person did not take the hit.
Right. But I just think that was.
But he went on ahead to become even, bigger.
Yeah, right. This is what I'm saying. That catapulted his career and
because it made him edgy. Because it made him edgy.
Right.
Coming from the group.
Now he grown and sexy all of a sudden. He went from being a damn near Disney character to now he's grown and sexy.
Yeah, you're right, because he
get the fuck out of here. Because he ripped off somebody's corset. She already had a baby sitting up in her throat. Huh?
I mean, because I know they couldn't have been mad. Well, maybe they were mad like I was. I was like, damn, that titty's kind of sad. I was like, well, what's the big deal? I said she had a nipple shield.
Yeah, right.
So I was like,
I didn't really understand. Again, didn't understand the whole big deal.
Then what you say, his punk ass? Yeah, because that's what I said. And the first thing I said was, if she'd had somebody black up there, it wouldn't even have went down like that.
Yeah, no.
They both. First of all, they both would have got banned. But I think
I don't even think nobody black would have disrespected her like. I don't think nobody black would have disrespected her like that.
No, because I'm sure they would have discussed it. I don't think it's a good idea.
Right. They wouldn't have done it. First of all, because it's just how they even look, even, the most hardcore of rappers in our community really, they grew up on the Jacksons and that sort of thing. So I really doubt that somebody would have been like, oh, it's been a good idea to pop your nipple out, Janet. I'll rip it off. Nah, that was straight them doing that. And then once it got, oh my God. They quickly backed up, like, I don't know.
What was he supposed to do? Just grab her breast?
I think that's what he was maybe going for, and then somebody was like, "Oh no, you should pull it, you should rip it." Maybe that might have been
that shit broke away too easily.
Yeah, because maybe that might have been the thing to begin with, right? And then they just decided to scratch it, and then somebody went to him and said, "No, do it. I think it'll be a good idea. You'll be in the papers. Everybody will talk about you. This will catapult your career." So he did it. But she kept the same garment on that they tricked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he is a bitch.
Yeah.
It was a bitch ass move.
It was. And then to this day not come out and say, apologize to her and apologize that you saw how her career went the one way and your career skyrocketed from this whole thing, and never acknowledged that.
But he still won't be as legendary as she is. So
yeah, but I still think it's fucked up. But anyway, all right, I'm getting out of here. That's it. So you did that. You did it. But yeah, conspiracy all around. If there was ever a conspiracy theory, like Pizarro says, I believe that all that shit was conspiracy. Yeah, I think the man shouldn't have lied, and he should be, receive some sort of punishment for, lying about a crime. But at the end of the day, if you're not gonna hang these Karens and Kevins for calling the police and lying on bullshit, then you're not going to put him in jail for no period of time if you ain't gonna put these white folks in jail. Period. Point blank. And end of story. So you start rounding up these Karens and these Kevins when they be calling the police talking about somebody attacked them or whatever, and start throwing their asses in jail. Then you could take
just doing these false calls.
Right, you could take Jesse's ass and put him in jail too. But until then, leave the motherfuckers alone. If you ain't doing it to them, don't even come for us. Try to do that shit. She's fine. She's getting billions of alimony and child support. Yeah, she sure is. You ain't never lied about that. She over in London right now, her second home, chilling. Had one baby. Look at that, one baby. Hey, rest of her life. Like what's her face? Diana Ross had twins. Billionaire dies. She is a billionaire. Ain't never been a billionaire in her life.
Oh yeah,
not in her life.
I forgot about her sons. Her son's father had gotten killed.
That's it.
I believe it was some kind of boating accident or something.
Ski accident, boat accident, something white. Yes. Something white. But anyway, good night. No, everybody have a blessed night. Mask up, stay moisturized, and until next
Everyone
time.
take care now.
All right, peace.
Peace.